into Mahrez. Mahrez back to De Bruyne. I'll go through the 2-11s for you in just a second. De Bruyne exchanges passes with Walker. They go back to the halfway line. I say it's the worst kit in the league. It's dark blue, but it has no badge on it, which is a cardinal sin for any football club. It's just got the word Man City on the front.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, I've got to be honest.
I don't think you're the only one. Over on TalkSport 2, by the way, right now it's Burnley against Tottenham. We're concentrating on all the goals as they go in live from around the EFL Cup, the League Cup, the Carabao Cup as it is known, here on TalkSport tonight. West Ham in those claret and blue jerseys, as is traditional, with white shorts, attacking the goal away to our right-hand side. Sir Trevor Brookingstown, and he is here tonight as Yarmolenko goes through the middle, tries to get on the end of a Vlasic ball. It's gobbled up by goalkeeper Zach Steffen away to our right. So it's Alphonse Areola in goal for West Ham. It is a back three, I think, or it could be a back four, you know, of Johnson, Dawson, Diop and Aaron Cresswell, and then Vlasic's playing on the right-hand side with Souček, Noble and Masuaku over on the far touchline, and then it's Lanzini behind the Yarmolenko in attack. That's the team that I wrote down earlier on, and Trevor made me change. Manchester City have Zach Steffen in goal, Walker, Stones, Ake and Zinchenko, Palmer, Fernandinho and Gundogan, Mahrez, De Bruyne and Sterling up top. They will fluidly move different positions throughout the course of the evening. Trevor, West Ham have had a bit of a problem with clean sheets recently, but have tightened up over the last couple of games. Can they keep City out tonight?
It'd be very difficult. You look at the attacking players on the pitch, and not only that, look at the attacking players on the bench, and that's where the problems are. When you get a few tired legs, they only played on Sunday. You've got Phil Foden there, you've got Grealish, you've got Jesus. There's a lot of ability to come off the bench, so it'll be very difficult, but it's not about keeping clean sheets, it's about scoring more than their opponents, and I think they can do that.
Fernandinho heads the ball down just in front of the centre circle inside his own half, dabs it back to Carl Walker, who has played a lot of minutes recently. Under pressure from Lanzini, turns and gets it back to John Stones, and Stones, who hasn't played too much football for Manchester City this season, plays it out to Ake, who travels up towards the halfway line. Just short of that is Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer into Fernandinho, then onto the right, and then very quickly De Bruyne is engaged by Issa Diop, who comes out smartly and helps clear. It comes back down the Manchester City left, and Vlasic tries to intervene but can't, and Gundogan just weaves in between two claret and blue jerseys and nudges it out towards the near touchline, where Ake tries to touch it forward in front of David Moyes, who's wearing a tracksuit tonight. Stuart Pearce, I think, is going to be up in this media gantry watching the game from on high, giving his perspective to David Moyes via what are you looking at me like that for?
I was just going to say, friend. You love him.
He worked for TalkSport for a very long time and continues to do so.
Absolutely.
And he's very much appreciated. 4 minutes gone for listening to TalkSport. You're in lively mood tonight, I notice. Is it because you haven't seen me for a little while?
That, and I've had quite a lot of sweets.
Ball back towards the right-hand side where Zach Steffen has the ball. Things aren't going particularly well at Manchester United across the city, are they? But they were the last team that beat Manchester City in this competition. That was a very long time ago now. At the time, Jose and Pep were in charge, and it was 1 and 2 in the league. Here's Sterling trying to get down the left-hand side. It's been a long time since he really flourished in a Manchester City jersey as well, and he needed minutes after his back injury. Cost him of a position in the squad at the weekend. He'll be eager to impress tonight, Trevor.
Yeah, and he was just in a great position there. He dropped his left shoulder, cut in from the left wing onto his right foot, and he's probably about 12 yards out on a bit of an angle, but not too wide, and he's looking to slip someone in. Have a shot. You know, it might deflect off someone, it might go through a defender's legs. He's trying to be a little bit too accurate in really tight spaces, and for me, get back to what you're good at. Being direct, getting your shots off, getting your crosses in, and he'll soon turn his form around. 5 minutes gone, goalless at the London Stadium. Ball by De Bruyne, right across the face of goal, cut out by Johnson, given away. But Zach Steffen was very alert and came charging off his line and almost met it on the edge of the centre circle. And Manchester City have it back again. We played 5 minutes, it's goalless on TalkSport. Here's Raheem Sterling for Manchester City, the holders of this Carabao Cup, against West Ham United, who haven't gone beyond this round since 2017.
Collected now by Zinchenko, out towards the wide left as City look at it, and it's now on to Raheem Sterling, who's being just forced by Vlasic to release the ball into the central area. Collected by Fernandinho, and now moving forward with a little bit of pace is Stones, and he goes into the West Ham half, out to the right. Now Mahrez takes it on, left-footed cross, blocks and bounces into the path of Lanzini. There's not too many options going forward, so he goes wide, and West Ham get it to halfway, and Yarmolenko, a little back heel into Lanzini, who runs up towards the halfway line. He's surrounded by blue, almost smothered by it, and they're so tight on the touchline over on the far side that inadvertently it ends up going out of play and away for a throw-in to the visitors, Manchester City. 6 gone, goalless.
Yeah, 80% possession to Manchester City. Not a surprise, but it is a huge amount of pressure that they're starting to put on West Ham, and they need to try and get hold of it. They did well initially there when they won the ball back. Lanzini got great ability in small areas, kept the ball, but Yarmolenko wasn't able to keep the ball alive, and Manchester City came again. But they've got to be brave on the ball, they've got to be good on the ball, and they've got to try and keep possession and just give the defenders a bit of respite.
Masuaku back to Cresswell, gives it away, and coming forward is Mahrez now into the box, jinks past one challenge, releases it to Cole Palmer, who's in an offside position. And that's going to be a free kick just inside the box, but there was a mistake there by Cresswell, almost invited serious pressure. Goal at the King Power very early. For TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
And Leicester lead Brighton by a goal to nil. It's been scored by Harvey Barnes. Poor clearance out by Jason Steele, the Brighton keeper, and Barnes back in the starting lineup from the edge of the penalty area onto his right foot. A powerful low finish. Leicester 1, Brighton 0.
Cheers, Jeff, thank you very much. Emotional day there, and they already lead by a goal to nil. 0-0 Preston Liverpool and 0-0 Stoke Brentford. And over on TalkSport 2, which you can access via our app, download it by the iOS store or the Google Play Store, it's Burnley 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. You're listening to TalkSport live at the London Stadium on a very mild night in October. It's one of those weird nights in October. You don't even need a jacket, really, do you?
I had a jacket on and a hat, and when I got upstairs I was sweating, and I thought, it's a lot warmer down south, isn't it?
Well, it's great for the kids that have come here on half-term and are experiencing this stadium for the first time. West Ham put a campaign in place to get as many as they can in the stadium tonight. Kids for a quid, family tickets, all very inclusive from West Ham United. The atmosphere warm and friendly, but with that East End edge that you would expect here at the London Stadium. Manchester City in possession just short of the halfway line, right of centre. Walker sends it out wide. It's collected by the Algerian Mahrez, who's in such good form at the beginning of the season. On to Palmer. Palmer into the box. Gundogan tries to get away from the defender. Johnson does brilliantly to nick it away from him and touches it into the path of Cresswell, who clears. He's been in the Premier League team 5 times this season, Ben Johnson, and West Ham are yet to concede a goal. That may be why.
Well, that stat's incredible, and that's probably why you get paid all the big bucks. I was astounded when you said that to us earlier, Sam. Brilliant stat, and I think, again, a tiny little example, a little snapshot of what he's all about. He's got a knack of just understanding where the danger is and getting himself between the ball and the goal and stopping it going in the back of his net, and it's a brilliant trait to have as a defender, and long may it continue.
Big bucks or big buckets?
Big bucks, don't you worry about that.
Buckets. Here is Johnson down the right-hand side, taking the ball on for West Ham. Goes down the side of the penalty area, looks to skip past Zinchenko, but overran it and runs into the claret carpet behind the goal away to our right-hand side and almost into the Manchester City fans. And there's quite a few of those that have made the journey down from Manchester over the course of the last 24 hours. They are in the Sir Trevor Brooking stand, and they go right up behind the big scoreboard, which is at that end of the ground. There's one at either end of the ground, but they go right up into the night sky here in East London.
Incredible stadium, Sam. You know, I know there was a few complaints and that about certain things, but over the years, I've not probably been here for quite a few months. They've improved it year on year, and it actually seems like West Ham United's ground now.
Well, it's a huge gap between us and the pitch. I mean, we're miles on this stand, on this side. On the other side, the gap to the pitch isn't that bad.
Yeah, but it's still a good view. There's no pillars in the way. It's a great view from a vantage point, and yeah, I don't think there's a problem.
No, I think it's just this side where some of the supporters in the top tier feel a bit of a disconnect.
Well, we were talking earlier and we said that they're going to increase the capacity. I think this is the area just in front of us where there's a little bit of a plateau. I think that's the penalty area where they're going to increase the 2,500, and I think that'll bring it all together a bit better.
Sometimes feels as if it can suck the noise out, but actually when it really gets going, this stadium, it can be incredibly noisy.
Yeah.
Here is Mahrez down the right, trying to spark Manchester City supporters into a little bit of noise away to our right, but it's given away by the reigning champs of this competition. Out towards the left, and Souček has fed Masuaku, tucked back to Lanzini by Vlasic, but it was a casual touch from the Croatian and easily mopped up by Manchester City, who go back towards their own goal and look to build again. We're live across the UK on Talk Sport and across the United States of America on Sirius XM FC, wherever you're listening in the world tonight. Thank you very much for choosing Talk Sport. Remember, over on Talk Sport 2 right now, Burnley against Tottenham is available via our app. Trevor Sinclair and Sam Adderface live at the London Stadium tonight. Sterling picks the ball up for City. They move towards the edge of the area. On the left is De Bruyne wearing 17. Plays a little through ball towards Sterling. Looks for the return. Can't get there. And out comes Alphonse Areola and meets him at his feet. And he bowls the ball out towards this near side, but badly. Goes straight out of play.
Yeah, that'll be disappointing for Moyes. You know, they've worked really hard to just phase out that attack from Manchester City. It's ended up with Issa Diop having to run and track a runner into the box and just shadow him there to make sure he can't get on the ball. Goes through to Areola and he throws it out for a throw into Manchester City. And likewise, Nikola Vlasic earlier, the ball went into him. As a coach, I really despise it when it goes into your focal point and he tries to lay it off first time and gives it away. Take it in, take a touch, win a foul, do something, but don't give it away cheaply. And that's exactly what they've done on 2 occasions. And that's why we've got this sustained attack from Manchester City now.
Yeah, they're on top at the moment. Here is Fernandinho forward towards Mahrez, then into De Bruyne. De Bruyne trying to get a little bit of space and moves towards the right angle of the penalty area over on the far side, attacking the goal away to our left. City in possession, bossing it at the moment, keeping West Ham inside their own half. Zinchenko surrounded by claret and blue shirts. It's picked up and sent forward by Manchester City's Gundogan. Gundogan behind Mahrez, who just miscontrols it slightly, and that allows West Ham to win it back inside their own half. But can they get it forward? Is there anyone to pass it to? Well, at the moment, really, there's not really a focal point for them to latch onto, because Yarmolenko moved out to a wing position. Stones followed him. It was impossible to play him the ball. Now Vlasic's trying to turn past Zinchenko, goes past him, but then runs into Ake, and it's out on this near side and away for a throw-in. Full programme in Scotland tonight. Currently Celtic 1, Hibernian 0. Bad news for Rangers, they've gone behind in the first 10 minutes of the game. Rangers 0, Aberdeen 1. Stop fist pumping.
No, I'm just stretching my arm.
And St Johnstone 1, Hearts 0. Jim won't be very happy with you if you start doing that.
Oh, he's turned them all down there. Took them up to Ibrox and they're all Rangers fans now. The producer, Joey's got a Rangers top.
West Ham 0, Manchester City 0 here on Talk Sport. And, you know, it's not very often that half and half scarves do a roaring trade, but Trevor Sinclair and David James are here tonight, so they've got one each.
Steady.
Here is Souček.
That is slander.
Out towards the near side.
But David James has got one. Disgraceful.
Greg Dawson brings it forward for West Ham United, signed a permanent deal after a loan spell last year. Worked out wide towards Cresswell. Running through the centre is Yarmolenko. Just got to check his run slightly because he was going a bit too early. Masuaku swings it into the box. There's no one there to capitalise. Brought down by Zinchenko. And Zinchenko takes it to the byline. Calmly plays it to Stefan across his own goal. Challenged by Lanzini, but the ball had already gone. And they play out from the back rather calmly, unruffled, despite the fact that everybody else's hearts were in their mouths. John Stones and Zach Steffen, they were quite casual about it.
Even Pepe's not even bothered getting up. He was cool. He knew Stefan would be able to deal with that.
Sterling trying to dazzle his way past Johnson. Johnson holds firm and then just uses his strength to edge the ball behind. It goes out for a goal kick away to our left, and his impressive performances continue. Still 0-0 here, still 0-0 between Stoke Brighton 0. You're listening to Talk Sport.
I think you just got a little idea of how far Ben Johnson's come. 6 to 12 months. You know, he ushered the ball out there with Raheem Sterling, who's one of the quickest players in the Premier League. He just ushered him out, used his strength, seen the ball out, and the ripple of appreciation from the home fans there. I think it just shows what they think of him and how he's developed over the last year or so. Outstanding. And again, credit to the coaches and David Moyes.
Dawson gets it back to his goalkeeper Areola, who's on loan from PSG for the year. It's touched back by Yarmolenko towards Souček, cleared away. Fabianski apparently is going to sign a new contract. He reckons he can play until he's 40, Fabianski, he said this week.
Between the sticks, I wouldn't be surprised. He's looked after himself with sports science now that the players are executing in their daily lives. In the summer they don't go, balloon up and go stone overweight. Plus, he's been outstanding. His reflexes are still there. He seems to be getting better and better as each year goes on, and he's a real fan's favourite. And Areola can't get in. He's played a few games already, but he's not been better than Fabianski.
Johnson does well again, takes it off of Raheem Sterling's toes, but it's won back by Zinchenko deep inside his own half. Back to his goalkeeper, Zach Stefan. West Ham have actually enjoyed their club exploits so far this season. They've won every match in the Europa League group stage. And one of the highlights of the season so far was the trip to Old Trafford in this competition, where they won by 1-0. The last few moments of that game were outstandingly open. Here is Mahrez down the right for Manchester City, on to Palmer, whose delivery into the box cleared away by Johnson again, and then headed back to his goalkeeper by Noble, the captain, who takes charge. And that was the game in which Noble started, not the one where he came off the bench and missed the penalty in the final minute. And he heads it back to his goalkeeper Areola, and West Ham can build again. Still goalless on TalkSport, 17 minutes gone.
Just use all his experience there, Mark Noble. An exhibition in communication. There was two players, West Ham players, looking like they're going for the same ball. A huge shout from Mark Noble, calling that is his ball, heads it safely back to Areola, and that the threat was finished. Straight into Areola's hands, and West Ham gained possession.
Interesting to watch Kevin De Bruyne's movement. He drops into midfield, Noble then shadows him and follows him around. He then runs towards the false 9 position, and Noble has to pass him on to Dawson. You need good communication to keep tabs on him throughout the course of the evening if you're going to do that. Sterling moves towards the edge of the area, and De Bruyne, now dropping deep, is engaged by Vlasic. His square ball is wayward, it's gone straight to Lanzini, and now they look to try and build an attack, West Ham. Noble up to Vlasic on halfway, trying to turn. He's smothered, but the ball ricochets kindly out towards this near touchline. Actually goes out of play, and it's away for a West Ham throw midway inside the Manchester City half, which they haven't seen too much of.
Yeah, that's what Vlasic has to do. Get hold of it, use his strength, use his upper body strength, get his body between him and the defender, and make sure he keeps possession and tries to find an out pass. And that's what he did there, and West Ham have been able to sustain a little bit of possession now.
Back towards Johnson, who's chasing forward down in the right wing position. He might get there before it goes out by the byline. He produces a cross into the box. There's no one there on the edge of the area, and it's cleared away. Back over on the far side, West Ham come forward again. Cresswell, his delivery is a little bit more reliable. Into Masuaku, tries to turn, goes back towards Cresswell once again. He in turn finds Souček, edge of the area, left side. West Ham on the attack here and trying to get past Walker is Cresswell. Cresswell in from the touchline. Masuaku goes over there. All very tight, no penetration at the moment from West Ham. Lanzini into the area now, tries to take on Stones. Little drag back, feeds Noble, edge of the area, encouraged to shoot, does shoot, parried away by the goalkeeper. And it was straight at Zach Stefan, but he had to be called into action. But that's left a gap in behind, and now here come Manchester City on the counter. Accelerating forward is Sterling, up towards the edge of the box. On the overlap is De Bruyne, goes down the side, produces a cross, hits a defender, Dawson, who slides in and goes behind for a corner.
Great bit of play, especially by West Ham. The initial cross by Ben Johnson from the right-hand side, there was absolutely nobody in the box. He's tried to clip it to the edge of the 18-yard box. West Ham have managed to keep the move alive. A little bit of intricate play down the left-hand side. It comes out to Mark Noble, and it's a fierce shot, well stayed by Stefan, but exactly what Manchester City need. A little bit of open space, and they look very dangerous on the counter-attack there. Corner to Manchester City.
Yeah, corners will be taken on this near side, and Kevin De Bruyne and Kevin De Bruyne Jr. Zinchenko are in attendance by the corner flag. Right-footed De Bruyne sends it in towards the near post, flicked away by the first man. Another wayward delivery from Kevin De Bruyne.
You've got to miss the first man. It's almost an unwritten rule. If you're putting the ball near post, make sure you get enough loft to miss that first man. He didn't do that, and it's an easy one to defend for West Ham.
Here is Zinchenko, just left of the centre circle now. Plays it down onto De Bruyne, who a couple of steps in from the touchline, plays it square into Zinchenko once again. Another goal in Scotland, big one. Rangers 0, Aberdeen 2.
Wow.
Scott Brown has scored.
Oh dear, he wouldn't have enjoyed that, would he?
Former Celtic captain has scored
Legend.
for Aberdeen against Rangers, and he's currently part of the coaching staff at Pittodrie as well. Here is Zinchenko wandering into midfield for Manchester City, moving up towards the edge of the area. Sterling takes it on, comes infield, and he's been shadowed by Vlasic, has to go back towards the halfway line. Ross County lead Dundee by a 1-0 as well in Scotland tonight. Here is De Bruyne trying to get round the back of Ben Johnson, but that's not going to happen. It goes out and straight into the path of Areola, and it's cleared away. They're a very neat and tidy team, West Ham, well organised, fearless. They're not particularly champagne football merchants, are they?
No.
But they will attack if you give them an opportunity.
It's like, in a boxing terminology, it would be death by 1,000 jabs. Nothing special, no massive uppercut or big knockout punch. They just jab away, and in the end, you almost surrender. And that's Manchester City in a nutshell.
Yarmolenko has just been ragdolled to the floor by Nathan Ake.
Strong boy.
Hasn't scored since January, when he recorded against Doncaster in the FA Cup. Doesn't score too many goals, Yarmolenko. We don't see him that much. He's only played 36 minutes of Premier League football this season, but he just caused Ake a few issues there, and he tugged at his jersey and dragged him to the floor about 8 or 9 yards outside the area down the right side, and it's produced one of these opportunities for West Ham that they quite like, a set piece from a wide area. Winning goals against Everton recently from one of those, against Tottenham as well at the weekend.
Cresswell's on it.
Cresswell coming up, a couple of goals against Genk, but Noble takes over, and delivery's not that great. It's hooked back in by Dawson, it's behind everyone, missed by De Bruyne, runs out towards the near side, and it goes out for a West Ham United throw.
Yeah, it's a training ground one. It's gone a little bit long. I think Cresswell looks like he's going to whip it in from the right hand side with his left foot. He runs over it. Martin Noble puts one towards the back post, and then Dawson either goes for goal if he's close enough. If he's not, keeps it alive where everyone switches onto the second phase. Just didn't execute it really well there.
Goalless, 22 minutes gone. Sterling trying to allow the ball to run out of play, falls over, puts it out of play, and it's given to West Ham as a throw-in on this near side down by the corner flag. They're still on the attack. Dawson comes infield past Palmer, wraps it straight. Yarmolenko comes out towards this near side. It's picked up by Vlasic, who goes past Zinchenko into the area, back to Noble, inside the box right side. Loads of Man City bodies back, so Johnson, who dollies it up into the area, sees his ball headed away rather easily, comes back in from Cresswell. That's more dangerous. Zinchenko away, and then it's cleared by Gundogan out towards this near touchline. And then Sterling dawdling once again. He's under pressure from Johnson, and then it's cleared by Zinchenko up over the halfway line. And finally Manchester City relieve the pressure that West Ham have had them under for the last 30 seconds or so. Let's go off to the Bet365 Stadium. There has been a goal in the Carabao Cup fourth round for TalkSport's Simon Humphreys.
And it's Stoke City 0, Brentford 1. The goal thoroughly deserved. The visitors dominating. They won a corner on the right-hand side after Canos had been denied by Bursic. The ball was picked up by Tony. He laid it on a play for Canos, edge of the area, fired it in, and despite Romain Sawyer's vain attempts on the line, he couldn't keep it out, and Brentford are in front. Sergi Canos with the goal, 22 gone, Stoke 0, Brentford 1.
Yarmolenko picks the ball up loose inside the Manchester City half. He runs into the penalty area, gets to the byline, produces a cross, headed away by Fernandinho, out only as far as Souček. Joining is Masuaku with a header, but there's a collision involving Walker, and a free kick has been given. It might have been a little bit soft, that.
Yeah, he seemed to go down quite easily, but I think the referee is doing the right thing. He's being safe. It looked like it could have been a head injury to Kyle Walker, and he's not someone you expect to go down. It looks like there is contact with both the heads, Masuaku and Kyle Walker, and he comes off worse, and he holds the back of his head, and the referee does the right thing and gives a foul.
Interesting though that a couple of times now the ball's just broken down, and that's where West Ham have looked at their most dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, them balls into the box, especially on the second phase. The first phase, it's like they've not got enough bodies in there. They need a little bit of time to get bodies into the box, but when they keep it alive, that's when West Ham look really dangerous, and the ball's going into dangerous areas. And a few questions are being asked of this Manchester City back four.
West Ham United 0, Manchester City 0. This is Talk Sport, live coverage of the Carabao Cup fourth round, live across the UK and the United States of America on Sirius XM FC. And we got more live football to come. And Trevor Sinclair alongside me. Here is De Bruyne out towards the left-hand side, onto Zinchenko, 5 yards outside the box, crosses deep towards the far post, flicked by Cresswell. Not a great header because it comes straight to Mahrez, who wanders into the area by the byline, stops, then drags it back towards the edge of the box. It's shot goalwards by Palmer, saved by the goalkeeper Areola, and then cleared away by West Ham. It was a good strong save by Areola, needed to be. and that's Manchester City's first shot on target. Late challenge by Fernandinho on Lanzini, came in from the side. That's going to be a free kick.
How's that not a booking? I mean, Lanzini does superbly well. I mean, he looks like he could be in trouble here. It might be his ankle, it might be his knee, but he's on the ground, looks a little bit distressed, maybe just a bit disappointed that he's not got out of that little situation without being fouled. And he might even be trying to get Fernandinho booked, which is quite a big task, because Fernandinho seems to get away with absolute murder.
He never gets booked.
But great play from Lanzini there. You know, he needed to get his body in the way and take one for the team, just to cease that pressure from Manchester City, and he did that really well.
Vlasic motoring forward down the right, twirls away from Vlasic, gets it to Yarmolenko, tried to turn, but he didn't do it quick enough, and Fernandinho was coming in from the blind side and nudged it back to Stefan before he could turn and get his shot away. What an opportunity.
Yeah, I think he was trying to swivel onto his favoured left foot and bend it in that far corner. We've seen him do it so many times from this right-hand side. He was central there as the ball came in from the right. He's trying to receive it with his right foot, almost let it run across his body, and then whip it with his left foot. Defender did really well and got himself in between the ball and the goal. It ricocheted in favour of Manchester City, and it was an easy back pass to Stefan.
Lanzini is back on his feet again. Trevor can pipe down a little bit, pal, because Alfredo Morelos has scored for Rangers. It's
scored
2-1.
Oh right, scored 1. Still behind then.
Rangers getting back into the game in Scotland. Here it's still goalless on Talk Sport. We have had goals in the Carabao Cup already today, including at Leicester City. They lead by a 0-0 against Brighton. Still 0-0 Preston Liverpool. Stoke behind against Brentford. And over on Talk Sport 2, it's Burnley 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, and it's goalless here at the London Stadium. There's quite a noise to be had. Yeah,
really interesting game, and I think that just tells you that the fans can sense, the home fans can sense that there might be something here for him. You know, I've been at this stadium commentating where Manchester City are beating West Ham 4-5-0. It's embarrassing, they're not even competitive. This is a different game, and it just shows where how far West Ham have come over the last couple of years.
Yeah, different team now, West Ham United. Here's Masuaku down the left-hand side. Pep referred to that in his pre-match press conference. Masuaku's cross is blocked by Riyad Mahrez, who had to get back to help out his defence, but hasn't got it clear. It's still with Masuaku, trying to bundle down the left-hand side, but he's not going to get away with trying to get past Walker. Walker is probably one of the best right-backs in Europe.
And he's a strong man.
He's been brilliant, even over the last year. I think he's got better and better. I still think that the situation that happened in Iceland, where he got sent off and really felt as if maybe he was never going to get to 50 caps with England, just sort of shocked him back into life again.
Yeah.
He's been brilliant ever since for club and for country.
I think sometimes you've just got to humble yourself, accept responsibility for mistakes that you might have made, and then go away and let your football do the talking, and that's exactly what Kyle Walker has done, and fair play to him. He was so good in the summer.
Here he is on the ball again, a couple of yards in from the right touchline. He sends it central. Now it's on to the Algerian Mahrez. Mahrez, top scorer for Manchester City so far this season. Into De Bruyne, who swings it out wide. Zinchenko, the Ukrainian, just steps up towards the angle of the penalty area. Won't go too far towards Ben Johnson. Back into a central area and collected now by De Bruyne. A side pass to Fernandinho in bright orange boots, illuminated under the huge triangular floodlights of the Olympic Stadium. Ball played into Mahrez, swings it out to the left. Good ball into Sterling, who's in space inside the box, tries to come in on his right foot. He's wandering past all comers, but they're smothering in quickly. And Souček gets the final touch and manages to help it clear.
I don't want to tempt fate, but this was very similar to what was happening in the last 20 minutes against Spurs. And because they're not putting balls into the box, I think it might even be easier for West Ham to take this pressure. They are so well organised, they communicate so well, and every player to a man take responsibility, and they almost look like they enjoy defending in units like this.
Well, they're a proper squad, West Ham. A lot of times you sort of think someone makes 8 changes and that can have a really detrimental effect on the team. Actually, I saw it in the game at Old Trafford earlier in the season. They use this squad, they feel as if they are very much all as one, and changing 8 players is fine, because most of them have been around it and been very close to it over the course of the season so far.
Good management.
It's one they've only lost 2 games all season.
Yeah, good management.
Ball's on the right side, collected by Kyle Walker, then Riyad Mahrez for Manchester City. It's still 0-0, half an hour gone. You're listening to Talk Sport live from the London Stadium, just down the road from Stratford. It's collected by Sterling, moves up towards the angle of the penalty area, goes centrally into Gundogan who tries to twirl forward away from Noble, but there's no gaps for him to exploit. And now Sterling tries to find one, goes infield, finds Gundogan who shoots from distance, and he hits it so hard and high and wide. I think it ended up in the cycling centre across the road. Maybe it hit the copper box, that one.
Listen, it's a compliment to West Ham and how well the lines are. There's no big gaps that Manchester City players can get into and get turned and get free shots off. And it was a hurried shot that from Gundogan. And when you start seeing teams like Manchester City shooting from 25 yards out, it tells you that the defenders are doing really well. Not just the defenders, but the back four, the midfield four and the forwards are all defending as one and making it really difficult for Manchester City to break them down. And I think it's games like this where Pep probably realises, yeah, we need a striker. Not to say that after 70 minutes they're going to bring on 2 or 3 really good forward players and they're not going to win this game, but they might have to do that because they've not got a natural scorer who will find chances in a tight game like this.
Well, look, if they do need a little bit of help, Phil Foden and Jack Grealish are on the bench.
That's unfair.
Well, look, his biggest headache at the moment, Pep Guardiola, is trying to keep all those players happy and satisfied. Here's Mahrez, who hasn't been in the team recently, and De Bruyne, who was left out at the weekend. On towards the right-hand side, low cross by Walker, ricochets into the air, comes up towards Areola, is able to grab it in front of the goal away to our left and clear. And Manchester City are finding it hard to break down this resolute West Ham team, who weren't perfect on Sunday against Tottenham. Fabianski had to make 1 or 2 saves, but you always felt that was a team that would win. They started the game at a great pace, they finished the game well, and look, it was hard fought, it was focused. 3 points, that tends to be the West Ham blueprint at the moment.
It's not a bad blueprint to have, is it? Difficult to break down.
Fernandinho on to De Bruyne, out to the left, Sterling in towards the near post, offside flag is up, and again they weather a storm.
Yeah, there's only been 1 shot on target. It was Mark Noble from 22 yards. Good save from Stefan, couldn't hold it because it was too powerful. I've not seen...
Palmer had one at the other end, didn't he, which was saved by Areola with his legs.
1 off each then. So yeah, so that just shows West Ham are doing a great job in stopping any real clear-cut chances being created by Manchester City. And yeah, it doesn't look like that seeing better movement from Manchester City or some movement off the bench.
David Moyes is just calmly giving instructions, I think we'll say, to 1 or 2 of his team that have just come over towards this near touchline. There's a huge apron between the dugouts and the technical areas. I mean, it's about 15, 20 yards.
Yeah.
He's standing right on the cusp of the technical area, almost as close to the pitch as he can possibly get. Andre Mariner, who is the 4th official, keeping a beady eye on him. John Moss, who was the FA Cup final referee in 2015. And James Milner's former PE teacher is keeping an eye on things tonight. There is no VAR, remember, as I think Queen's Park Rangers found out last night. Here is Vlasic on the halfway line, forward by Johnson. Sterling keeps it alive, Gundogan gets it from Fernandinho, and now midway towards the left side of the West Ham half, the ball's played into Palmer, who wriggles away from Dawson, goes down the side of the penalty area, plays it back towards the captain Fernandinho. Manchester City in possession deep inside opposition territory. Crossfield ball by Mahrez is inaccurate. It slips between Gundogan, who made a run down the inside left channel, and Ben Johnson, and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick away to our left hand side. Gives me the opportunity to tell you what's coming up at the weekend on TalkSport. Friday night QPR against Forest is on TalkSport 2. Game day is back on Saturday. Leicester against Arsenal 12:30. At the same time on the TalkSport app, Fulham against West Brom. Liverpool against Brighton is 3 o'clock on TalkSport on Saturday. And then it's Tottenham against Manchester United live at 5:30. All 3 of the games that Ollie has to save his job, apparently, are live on TalkSport.
Huge game against Spurs. Huge game. Actually, they've got some difficult games coming up. Atalanta, Manchester City coming up as well. It's going to be a really difficult time.
All live on TalkSport, yeah. And you're coming with me to the Manchester derby, aren't you?
I am.
Half and half scarf that day?
No,
I didn't think so. It's all right. I'm bringing Mark Hughes as well to balance things up. Here on the left-hand side is Sterling, moving towards the edge of the area. Down the left it goes to the byline, picked up by Gundogan, clipped towards the far post. Coming in is Mahrez, who hits it, and it's well wide of the goal. In fact, I don't even think it got to the goal. It went across it and out for a throw in by the corner flag.
Yeah, I think listen, it was from a real acute angle. It's a decent ball into the box. He struck it on the volley. He's going to be really an unbelievable strike to score from there. We're talking Van Basten kind of angles. He's running onto it with his right foot, which even closes the angle up even more, and he just doesn't get the angle right, and it goes out for a throw-in.
Should he have put it back across the face of goal?
I think so, yeah.
Here's De Bruyne, though, picking up a loose ball, running towards the edge of the box and straight into the face of Diop, bounces towards halfway. Manchester City, a lot of possession, a lot of territory, but actually West Ham probably have created one or two really good chances that could have hurt them on the counter-attack. Here on the left-hand side, though, is Gundogan, moving towards the edge of the area, flying a ball out towards the right. Taken down by Mahrez. Mahrez left-footed, lovely ball into the box, headed away by Dawson, and it goes out towards the near touchline, and it's about a yard in from that before it's picked up by Zinchenko. Now here's Gundogan flying another brilliant ball out to the right, taken down by Mahrez. He's got support in the shape of Kevin De Bruyne. You wouldn't want better support than that, but he continues it on his own, left-footed, strikes it, and it's away by Diop towards the halfway line. Taken down by Yarmolenko, but it comes straight back again, and Palmer's got it on the edge of the area now, trying to wriggle free. Good tackle by Souček, and then picked up by Masuaku, and West Ham might actually get out of their own half for a second. Maybe not. Diop onto Souček, edge of the area, and it goes out towards this near side. It's a bit short, and Dawson was stretching, but he got there just ahead of Raheem Sterling.
That was a 50-50 between Dawson and Raheem Sterling. I think there was only ever going to be one outcome.
Well, Raheem Sterling looked slower than Dawson for a start.
Well, I don't think he wanted any part of that. Dawson, you know, you could probably see the whites of his eyes. He was 100% going to win that, and if Raheem got in the way, he could have probably got hurt.
It's interesting what's happened to Raheem Sterling for Manchester City, isn't it? He's so very important for England, yet for Manchester City, it's almost as if they'll take him or leave him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, last season we've seen hints of that, and that's continued after the Euros. I was surprised it continued after the Euros, because for England he was probably our star man.
Is it to do with the contract?
I think so. Reading between the lines, you don't turn into... But looking at his display today, I mean, Pep can easily say, listen, he's not training well enough, because if the performances in training are similar to what we're seeing in match days, like we are seeing tonight in this... opening 35 minutes, then he's got every right not to play him, especially with Foden playing out of his skin and new signing £100 million man Jack Grealish playing as well as he has since he's arrived at Manchester City.
I was listening to TalkSport at the weekend, and I think someone said, managers don't pick teams, players pick teams.
Exactly.
If you're playing brilliantly, you'll be in the starting 11.
And the thing is with that, Sam, if you've got a player who's training brilliantly and overshadowing some of the first team players week in, week out in training, you will actually lose some of the squad if you don't give them an opportunity to play in the first team.
One of the reasons Cole Palmer has done so well in this Manchester City team. The ball was released by West Ham over the top of the City defence, but there was an offside flag that went up against Yarmolenko, so it's back with Manchester City. They have taken it, but I think the ball was already rolling, and John Moss is making them take that again. West Ham try to close it down very quickly and capitalise on that slapdash nature of the quick free kick from Manchester City. Sent forward towards Cole Palmer, who's trying to get away from Diop. Across comes Dawson, the backup centre-half pairing. The first choice centre-half pairing of Zuma and Ogbonna have started to form quite a partnership at the heart of the West Ham defence in recent weeks.
These two have not been bad.
And these two have done very well. I mean, that's what I mean about, just people stepping into positions and being part of the overall squad. It's been very useful for David Moyes.
Yeah, and you look at Dawson, he was outstanding last season for West Ham. You look at Diop, he was in and out, and he was getting, every time he got put back into the side, he did a little bit better. And the performances that I've seen, I think Manchester United in the cup game, he was brilliant, and he started really well tonight as well.
Masuaku engaged by Walker, but comes away with the ball. Lanzini then takes it on down the left channel. Running forward is now Yarmolenko. Meanders towards the edge of the box on the outside of him is Cresswell. First time cross, aimed towards the far post. And Croatian Vlasic was trying to get up there with Ake, but he's smaller and slighter than Ake, who gets up well and ensures the ball goes back towards Alphonse Areola. But Cresswell down that left-hand side, again important, getting into a crossing position. His delivery has always been the better out of anybody else who's put a ball into the box tonight.
Yeah, as soon as Yarmolenko started doing the step-overs, that you knew the overlap was coming and you knew the slip ball was going to go in there. And as soon as you seen the weight of the pass from Yarmolenko was right, I was kind of 100% sure that was going to go in the second 6-yard box and it was going to be a vicious cross. Manchester City dealt with the cross really well and Stefan cleaned it up at the end.
But you need Yarmolenko in the middle, don't you? Because without Antonio in there, he's the one with the height and the presence to be able to get on the end of it. They haven't really got anybody else like that.
Well, Vlasic can, but the ball's got to be almost perfect, and with the defending Manchester City there, the gaps weren't big. It's almost got to be the perfect ball to pick him out.
Manchester City, who started the season well, they're within striking distance at the top of the Premier League. Their performance on Saturday live on TalkSport was particularly impressive. Have been on top here, but haven't managed to really test Areola too often. Just the once from Cole Palmer so far. Ball is with Mahrez, deep towards the far post, same towards Gundogan, away by Johnson, cleared about as far as Fernandinho is 15 yards from the centre of the penalty area, back towards Zinchenko, now De Bruyne, then Zinchenko again, and then towards the right, bit too much room for Mahrez maybe, who stops, waits, hesitates, and then sends it wide towards the right, and Walker tiptoes towards the edge of the box, not fast or quick or with enough tempo, but finds Cole Palmer, whose shot is well over the top of the crossbar. So we'll go off to the Bet365 stadium, where there's been another goal for TalkSport. Simon Humphreys.
It's Stoke City 0, Brentford 2. This tie is effectively over. Ivan Toney's added a second for Brentford. Poor play from Stoke. Thompson lost the ball in midfield. It was quickly put forward into the path of Marcus Forss. He slipped the ball into the penalty area to Ivan Toney. You can't give him that time and space. Bang, ball in the back of the net. Bursik, no chance. Stoke 0, Brentford 2.
And Leicester lead Brighton by a goal to 0 in the Carabao Cup. Fourth round tonight. Arsenal, Sunderland and Chelsea already through. Who's going to join them? At the moment, we're no closer to knowing who's going to join them from this time. West Ham 0, Manchester City 0. Corner to Manchester City, away to our left. Gundogan will take it, right hand in the air. His ball delivered in towards the near post is flicked clear, comes out as far as De Bruyne, and then worked out into a right wing position, left footed cross by Mahrez towards the far post, headed away by Souček, who's retreated. Zinchenko keeps the pressure on. Gundogan flicks it back into a danger zone, and Stones was coming towards the ball, but it was just a little bit too far ahead of him, and it was caught by Areola, and it will be dispatched upfield. West Ham 0, Manchester City 0. Here's TalkSport's Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, a bit more jeopardy in that last cross by Zinchenko. It looked like it eluded all the defenders who were doing such a sterling job in the crosses earlier. But the crosses earlier, it's almost like food and drink. Put it in the area and then with that kind of box while we're set and ready to go and attack. I can't see Manchester City getting on the end of anything like that. That last cross was a little bit more dangerous, and it asked a few questions of Areola, who stood firm and caught it the first time. So yeah, good defending again from Manchester City, from West Ham, but they're going to have to continue that. No lapses of concentration, no individual mistakes. They're going to have to be on it for the 90 minutes, or at least what we're 65% possession to Manchester City. Whenever they've got possession, they've got to be ready for it.
Well, they're bringing it down at least. It was 80% at one stage.
Yeah, they've done well.
2.5 minutes to go. This is TalkSport. And remember, if it stays like this all the way through to the 90th minute, then we will have penalty kicks. No extra time, straight to penalties. Adds drama in the Carabao Cup. It's actually been a great feature, and I think it's one of the reasons why the attendances have been so good. Some of the campaigns have been brilliant as well, but Chelsea sold out last night, Arsenal sold out last night. Tonight, this game has been sold out. I think in half term as well, it's great for the kids because it means that for a fact you're going to be out by 10 o'clock no matter what happens.
Yeah, listen, it's proactive thinking, it's clever thinking, and it's one of them where this could light the fuse to bringing in more fans to the football club. And it's great to encourage kids to be around sport, and especially football, and I'm all for it, and well done to the owners for doing that.
Yep. Here is Palmer trying to just weave his way past Souček. He does go on the outside, then comes back on the inside. Little drag back, tries to feed Sterling, and Johnson was quickly across to stop it from reaching Raheem Sterling, and Vlasic will run it clear. Remains 0-0. Or Vlasic has lost it. Picked up by Zinchenko. Then Lanzini a little bit late on Gundogan, and a free kick is going to be given by John Moss, and this is 15 yards outside the box, left of centre, and dangerous territory.
Yeah, John Moss been consistent, because there was a foul earlier on Lanzini which I thought from Ferdinandino should have been a yellow card, and then Lanzini wrong side of Gundogan, he's dragged him back. He knows what he's doing because it's a dangerous situation, and John Moss has kept his card in his pocket, so I don't mind that. A little bit of consistency, no bookings.
Is that Manchester City badge on the back of the kit by the neck?
It's a strange one. I think it is just at the back of the neck near the collar of the shirt, but I don't know. Give it time. It might.
It won't.
It's not going to, is it?
It's not going to catch on. No chance.
On the flip side of that, West Ham's kit, brilliant. Little throwback to my time at the football club.
De Bruyne standing over this free kick, which is just left of centre. So is Mahrez, who stops and then goes to take it. Aki with a header, gets above his marker, but sends it wide of the post. It was a good delivery that from Mahrez. Good, well-timed run from Ake. Good leap up into the air. Got ahead of Diop and guided it just narrowly wide. Yeah,
it's one of them where there wasn't an awful lot of speed on the ball, and he almost had to generate the pace if he was going to beat Areola. By trying to do that, you're moving your neck muscles a bit more to get the perfect contact, and he's just got his timing wrong and not got enough purchase on the ball, and it's gone harmlessly wide.
No added time at the end of the first half, and Ake having a chance, Cole Palmer having a chance, but apart lots of possession, Manchester City haven't fashioned too many clear-cut opportunities. Mark Noble did have one effort saved by Zach Steffen in that first 45 minutes. You know, it's 5 years since Manchester City were last knocked out of the League Cup. They find themselves in an unusual position at the London Stadium, struggling to open up West Ham. West Ham 0, Manchester City 0.
Actually, I really enjoyed that first half, Trevor Sinclair. I thought it was really good. Showed different qualities, both sides. It's not like West Ham are totally defending. They have got forward when they can. They've got some joy on the flanks as well. Manchester City have done what they do really well. Some lovely football. I think it's still a very beautifully poised open cup time.
It is definitely, and like you just said there, West Ham have defended really well, and at times they've attacked quite well as well and been quite dangerous on the counter-attack. What they've got to make sure they do a little bit better, and they've done it at times in that first half, is when the first ball comes out, whether it's Yarmolenko or Vlasic, they've got to get hold of the ball. It's so fundamental to the way West Ham are playing. A deep block, no mistakes from the defenders. When they win the ball back and it breaks for them, that first ball out has got to be kept, and if they can do that, that is the basis to then build counter-attacks. If they don't do that, it's coming straight back at them. So I'm sure that's the kind of message that David Moyes is going to be sending to the team when they go in the dressing room. On Manchester City's side, they've got to move the ball quicker. They've got to be a little bit more creative. They've got to have a little bit more cynicism about them, a little bit more disguise, and if they do that, then they've got a chance of opening up this very, very disciplined and strict and hard-working West Ham defence.
Yeah, moving it about quicker, being quicker, sharper and brighter in everything City do, and that's where you start to question Raheem Sterling's 45, but it's also where you look at Cole Palmer and think, this kid's got a future.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've seen it. He's not really had any joy apart from the only shot that Manchester City have had on target, but there's been a couple of little touches where I thought, oh, that's a bit, you can sense it, it's a little bit of class. It's wrong footed the defender, it's not quite come off for him yet, but if he continues to get the ball in the right areas, eventually one of the moves is going to come off and he's going to hit the target. And as we see, I mean, like, listen, I was at the Burnley game. He came on for the last 2 or 3 minutes for the first team game. I can't remember the result. They won, obviously. He went across to the academy pitch, played against Leicester or Everton, do I believe, and went and scored a hat-trick. And like, mentally, when you're talking about you've just played for the first team, even though it was only a few minutes, go and show your mentality and show the rest of the lads why you're with the first team. A lot of things are going right at Manchester City, and first and foremost, you have to say this is one of the main reasons why your likes of your Fodens and your Cole Palmers, some of those are coming from the academy and doing it in the first team.
Well, Foden learned from David Silva. Cole Palmer's learning from Foden, isn't it? I first saw him in the Community Shield. And when Jack Grealish came on in that game, they linked up like they'd known each other for years. That's an old head on young shoulders. Very quickly, another player I want to talk. Just a quick one from me on Yarmolenko. I think he's really good. I think his touch is superb. I think he's got such a clever football brain. I want to see so much more. It's almost like he's playing within himself, isn't it?
Yeah, Yarmolenko's a difficult one. He has done great things for West Ham. You know, we've seen him come in from that right-hand side, little drop of the right shoulder, come onto his left and bend it in quite a few times. I think he's a bit part player. I think when you're talking about the intensity, I don't think it's that he's not trying. he's just not managed to get his physicality and his mobility to a level where he can affect Premier League games as much as some of the other players.
But he must have seen Nathan Ake, who at times has wobbled in a Man City shirt. Surely he should just get himself on Nathan Ake, cause him havoc as much as you possibly can, and he's going to have some joy because he's so clever, Yarmolenko.
He is a clever player, and I think we've seen that more so with the Ukraine, where he seems to take a bit more responsibility with the Ukraine.
He's about to break Shevchenko's record. I mean, it's
unbelievable,
isn't it?
Yeah,
but the West Ham fans don't really see that.
We have seen glimpses of it, but I think. I think we just take what happens in the Premier League for granted. The physical demands that you ask of every player week in, week out, and I'm just not sure he's got that capacity in him.
Very interesting first half. It is 0-0 here. Is that another goal at Leicester? Jeff Peters.
Yeah, we're in first half stoppage time. It's Leicester 1, Brighton 1. Adam Webster has rolled the ball in from close range. Corner from the Brighton right, swung in, headed forward. Leicester's defending pretty woeful, as it has been for most of this season. A very simple opportunity for Webster to turn the ball past Danny Ward, who had actually made a fantastic save just before that to tip the ball over the line as Leicester retake the lead. Goals as they go in on TalkSport, and it's been stabbed home by Ademola Lookman, and Leicester are back in front, still in first half stoppage time. So Leicester have responded really well to that equaliser from Brighton, from Webster, and as we approach the break, they're still playing here, and it's Leicester 2, Brighton 1.
Yeah, and we'll be back there for half-time. It is half-time though at Deepdale on TalkSport. Preston taking on Liverpool. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, it's Preston 0, Liverpool 0, and a brief glance at the half-time stats will tell you Liverpool had 80% possession. You'll think a one-sided game, but far from it. Despite all that possession, Liverpool have not had a shot on goal. Well, at the other end, Preston have had 5 genuine chances to score. They had a couple early on after Liverpool kept the ball for what seemed like the opening 10 minutes. Barkhausen on the break, he fired a shot wide, and then Ledson hooked a volley over his shoulder, but then the real fun started. Brad Potts broke the offside trap, played in clean through from halfway, in on goal. Adrian produced a great save to deny him from the corner. Liam Lindsay unmarked 6 yards out, he headed away from goal rather than into the back of the net. And then on 28 minutes, Ali McCann dispossessed Gomez, bringing the ball out of the area. Unselfishly, he squared it to Maguire. Maguire 6 yards out, unmarked, looked like he was going to score. Adrian produced a wonderful save. On the follow-up, Ryan Ledson, a former Everton player, would have loved to have scored. He lashed a shot, it went past Adrian, and it was cleared off the line by Williams. And then the ball 8 yards out, it fell to Brad Potts, unmarked. Everyone at Deepdale thought he was going to break the back of the net, and he smashed it over the top. If Preston do not win this game, he will have a nightmare about that one. Liverpool have got some big guns on the bench, Adrian. They might need them here. The shot could be on at half-time. Preston 0, Liverpool 0.
When you see the sequence that Mark has just perfectly described, you won't believe that Preston did not score a goal. It is goalless, though, at Deepdale at half-time. It's goalless in the TalkSport 2 commentary game as well. Burnley 0, Spurs 0. That is not the scoreline at half-time at the Bet365, though. Simon Humphreys.
It's not, Adrian. Stoke City 0, Brentford 2. The Premier League side in total command of this game. Their appetite to win possession and move around with the ball is insatiable. Tony and Force should have scored early on, but both missed gilt-edged chances in the 6-yard box. They did take the lead, however, on 22 minutes. Sergi Canos was denied by Bursic, who got down well at his near post to deny him, but from the resulting corner, the ball fell to Tony. He led it off to the edge of the area to Canos, who fired home despite the vain attempts of Sawyers on the line to keep it out. The Bees doubled their lead 5 minutes from the break. Stoke caught in possession in midfield. Force swept the ball forward to an unmarked Tony in the area, and he fired home, giving the Stoke keeper no chance. The Potters' only shot came from Fletcher midway through the half. He was denied from a tight angle, to be fair, by Fernandes. In truth, though, Stoke have been a poor second best. Half-time, Stoke City 0, Brentford 2.
And the whistle for half-time has just gone at the King Power Stadium. What a first half for TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, it's Leicester City 2, Brighton 1. Leicester ahead very early on tonight. Jason Steele's poor pass out was intended for Adam Webster, but intercepted by Harvey Barnes, who arrowed a fine low shot from the edge of the box into the bottom corner. His second goal of the season. They had other chances to extend the lead. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall was denied by a fingertip from Steele onto the crossbar, and Duffy cleared Vestergaard's header off the line. Brighton levelled in first half stoppage time. Ward tipped over from McAllister, and from the resulting corner, Webster was left unmarked and tapped home from close range. We'd barely had chance to catch our breath when Leicester went attacking. Sarmiento with a dreadful back pass to his goalkeeper. Ademola Lookman was able to steal in and poke the ball past Steele, and Leicester restored their advantage. At the break, it's Leicester 2, Brighton 1.
Carabao Cup 4th round then, half-times Burnley 0, Spurs 0, live on TalkSport 2. Leicester 2, Brighton 1, Preston 0, Liverpool 0, Stoke 0, Brentford 2, and here at the London Stadium it's been good, but it's been goalless. West Ham 0, Man City 0, live on TalkSport.
Get your free £5 ACCA with Boyle Sports ACCA
TalkSport. 3 o'clock, Liverpool take on Brighton. I'll be hosting that live from Newcastle, Chelsea. We're everywhere on TalkSport. And at 5:30, Spurs against Manchester United, live and exclusive on TalkSport. Sam Matterface will be there alongside the former England striker Dean Ashton. And what about the Autumn Nation series as well? Live and exclusive on the TalkSport network. 16 live exclusive commentaries as England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland and France take on the Southern Hemisphere and Japan, including world champions and lions tamers South Africa, the formidable All Blacks of New Zealand, and a resurgent Australia as well. Kicks off this Saturday, 2 p.m. TalkSport 2, Scotland hosts Tonga, and then the big one, Wales welcome New Zealand. Before that, you can catch TalkSport 2's preview show throughout the week and as a podcast on the TalkSport app, and that's where it's easy to swipe between TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Just download the TalkSport app for free from where you get your apps. And let me tell you about the commentary teams on Saturday. Scotland-Tonga, TalkSport 2, from 2 p.m. with build-up, 2:30 kick-off. Hugh Wozencroft will be your host, Stuart McFarlane and Scotland's all-time record point scorer Chris Patterson on commentary. Wales-New Zealand at 5:30. Hugh, your host again. Andrew McKenna, the brilliant Andrew McKenna on commentary. And Wales and Lions star George North, absolute superstar, on commentary for Wales, New Zealand. We've got the Autumn Nation series live and exclusive on the TalkSport network. Let me run you through the Scottish Premiership half-times. Full programme tonight. Dundee 0, Ross County 4 at half-time. So the team bottom of the table are beating the team second bottom convincingly. Celtic were 3 up at Hibs. It's now Hibs 1, Celtic 3. Livingston 1, Dundee United 1, but Livy have had Ben Williamson sent off just before half-time. Motherwell 0, St Mirren 0. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 2. Christian Ramirez got the first for the Dons. Scott Brown diving header put Aberdeen 2 up. Alfredo Morelos has pulled 1 back at Ibrox. And St Johnstone 1, Hearts 1. As it stands, if those scores stay the same, Rangers will stay top, but they'll only be a point clear of Celtic, who will move up to second place. Here are the London Stadium teams are back out. Fans in good voice. It's a lovely evening. No goals, but no shortage of entertainment. We'll get second half commentary on TalkSport with the former England World Cup winner and winger Trevor Sinclair and TalkSport's chief football commentator Sam Matterface.
You haven't told me about that. What was that?
Winger.
Oh, right, sorry. I know you were old, but I didn't know you were that old. We're underway at the start of the second half. West Ham shooting from right to left, get us started in claret and blue jerseys with white shorts. And Manchester City in their third strip, which is navy blue with light blue piping, no badge on the front, that's on the back, and the words Man City above the sponsor. Attacking the goal away to our right, which is where their supporters are housed in the Sir Trevor Brooking stand. I'll run through the two teams for you. And Areola is the West Ham goalkeeper. It's the back four of Johnson, Dawson, Diop and Cresswell. In midfield, Vlasic, Noble, Souček and Masuaku, with Yarmolenko up top and Lanzini buzzing around him. For Manchester City, it's Zach Steffen in goal, Walker, Stones, Ake and Zinchenko, Palmer, Fernandinho and Gundogan, Mahrez and Sterling, and De Bruyne basically doing whatever he wants. It is 0-0. And Manchester City know that they have got a job on their hands. In days gone by, they would turn up here and swap West Ham aside, but they had to scrap for a 1-1 draw on their last visit, and they're having to scrap for this one as well. It's an entertaining game, and it remains goalless. Trevor Sinclair, what are you hoping for in the second half?
Well, from a West Ham perspective, you would like to think they'll defend well as they did. There's going to be no individual mistakes. They're going to communicate, be close together, avoid letting big gaps develop between the midfield and the defence, and if they can do that, I think they've got a good chance of shutting Manchester City out. From a Manchester City perspective, they've got to be better, they've got to move the ball quicker, they've got to be more inventive, more creative, and to try and break this quite solid West Ham defence down.
João Cancelo has come on at half-time for Carl Walker. I didn't see the board go up, but he's definitely out there. He's wearing 27, playing right back. Here is Gundogan.
That makes sense, because he's got a lot more creativity, not being disrespectful to Carl, because Carl's got a great job in the team and does a great job for Manchester City, but Cancelo's got a lot.
Sterling coming in from the left-hand side in towards Cole Palmer. Cut away by Souček and out towards the far side. I also think it could be something to do with managing minutes. Those two have played a lot of football. They haven't really got too many alternatives in that position. It is one or the other, and the other one is playing at left back most of the game, so they had to probably job share tonight.
Well, they've got Zinchenko, but we're talking at that kind of standard. You're right, you know, these two dictate and dominate them two positions, and that's why I think they're giving them 4 to 5 minutes each for this West Ham game.
Gundogan on to De Bruyne, 10 short of the area. Out on the left is Sterling approaching the defender Johnson, goes back to the left-hand angle, and De Bruyne tries a shot blocked by Vlasic, bounces to Lanzini, and then West Ham try to carve their way out of defence. It comes to Masuaku. Back through Cancelo, and it's taken on by Cresswell. Bit of space for Vlasic, 10 yards outside the box. Encouraged to shoot, didn't do so. Souček's got it back. Towards the left it goes. And the free kick is given in favour of the former Everton man. Zinchenko was the man who perpetrated the foul. Manchester City and West Ham playing one another for the third time only in this competition's 62-year history. Both of the previous matchups have been won by Manchester City, 1984-85. Steve Whitten scored for John Lyall's side in a replay at the Bowling Ground. City prevailed 2-1. It was a bit different to tonight. There were only 17,000 at Upton Park for that replay.
Wow, just shows you how far the club have come and how popular the club's become.
60,000 now, with planning permission granted for another 2,500 seats today. Vlasic gets the ball on the halfway line, tries to reverse it to Johnson, who goes running down the right, but it was too heavy, goes straight out of play, and it's out over on the far side for a Manchester City throw. TalkSport live at the London Stadium, and this stadium absolutely jam-packed tonight, with all different age ranges enjoying, some of them for the first time, live football. Ball back to Stefan, who has to juggle with it. It was not a great ball back to him by Gundogan from the edge of the area, and he skipped up and managed to take it away from Lanzini, and then clears through midfield. Sterling rides the charge of Souček, plays it to the right, and De Bruyne, who motors towards the edge of the area, shifts it wide to Mahrez, whose shot smacks straight into De Bruyne. Well, that was a bit comical. Comes out to the left full-back position, and Cresswell trying to clear. It's been very entertaining in the fact that you can't catch your breath for a second, can you? Because it doesn't stop the game. Good ball down the right for Vlasic to chase. Brilliantly played by Noble. Oh, well done. The linesman on the far side has smalt the thumb. He's raised his flag and given offside.
Yeah, good end-to-end play. I think West Ham are certainly playing their part in making sure that they're not just sitting in and accepting that Manchester City are going to have possession. They're getting forward themselves and looking quite menacing and dangerous at times. And then counter-attack from Manchester City that time, and good work initially by De Bruyne. He played the ball out wide to Mahrez, and then Mahrez, as you said comically, just smacked the ball against Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think he appreciated it too much.
Only a sub on Saturday against Brighton, Kevin De Bruyne. 10 goals in his last 22 City appearances. Here they come with Gundogan into the area, played in by Palmer, and he shoots wide as the goalkeeper comes out. But again, it was a really tight angle, Trevor, for Gundogan to try and complete that chance. Played down the left by Palmer. There's nobody with the killer instinct inside the box.
Yeah, and this is the problem, and we all know that Manchester City have got this problem. It's not a new problem. Really, players should be breaking their neck to try and make that 6-yard box and get themselves a tap-in. Because if they do, and they get in space, and Gundogan pulls that across, you're almost shooting at an empty goal. And again, it's frustrating, but Cole Palmer again there, you know, we spoke about it at half-time in the interval when I think you were taking a toilet break, and me and Adrian were having a little chat about Cole Palmer and some of his touches and how exciting he is as a player, and we just seen a little instant there where he just goes past his player, picked out Gundogan, and again Gundogan just didn't have the angle. You might not have been going to the toilet, I don't know.
I don't know why we have to speculate. Did you enjoy your Twix or your Snickers? What did you have?
I've had a tiny little bit of the Twix, just as a little sugar boost.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
No problem. Free goal kick away to our right-hand side. West Ham United 0, Manchester City 0. You're doing Leicester against Arsenal on Saturday, aren't you?
Yeah, really looking forward to that.
That's 12:30, isn't it? I'm going to be doing Tottenham against Manchester United 5:30 on Saturday. Game day's massive this week. We've got commentaries coming out of our ears and going into yours. Here's Nikola Vlasic on the edge of the area, trying to get past Zinchenko, can't do so. Cleared away up towards the halfway line, and it's back with Noble, who hooks it over his head. Down the right it goes. It's picked up on halfway, and now here's Sterling accelerating with speed towards the edge of the area, lays it off to De Bruyne. Again, it's not perfect from Sterling. It's cut out by West Ham, and you know what? West Ham, there's just something about them tonight, and Manchester City are right to be full of trepidation here as they come forward in numbers with Yarmolenko far side. Into Noble. Noble wants to switch to play to Cresswell, who's in quite a bit of space. Takes it down brilliantly, Cresswell. Then flicks it on. Masuaku slaps it through the face of goal. Comes back on the edge of the D. Slammed goalwards by Yarmolenko, and it's blocked by Zinchenko and cleared away. And the two Ukrainians collide on the edge of the 6-yard box. But that was the best move that Manchester City have seen West Ham put together, and it could have resulted in the opening goal of the night. Now they come at the other end. It's with Cole Palmer sliding it forward into the air off Dawson and caught by Areola. Still 0-0, I don't know how.
Yeah, brilliant play by West Ham, and as you said, they were starting to look menacing, growing in confidence. The ball came out, he deflected up in the air, and I have to say it's a brilliant touch from Cresswell. He feeds the ball, just a little slip ball. It is on the angle to Masuaku, who hits the target this time, keeps it down. Good stave, palmed it into the feet of Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko looked like he was going to swivel onto an empty goal. He weren't sure whether he was going to get a contact, so he took a touch, and by the time he got his shot off, it was well, but a really good phase of play by West Ham United, and Manchester City was stretched to the max there.
City have already been beaten 3 times this season and twice already in London, but they're coming forward now with Mahrez into the area. His shot takes a deflection, goes out to the far side, tied it up by West Ham once again. I think they're going to send for the big boys, Manchester City.
That's a compliment, Sam. That is a compliment, because it just shows how many problems that West Ham are giving this Manchester City side early on in the second half.
Here is De Bruyne. 56 gone, goalless on Talk Sport. It's with Sterling moving towards the edge of the area. Right-footed drive towards the near post, easy save by Areola. I think I saw Phil Foden start to intensify his warm-up. Jack Grealish is speeding down the left touchline now. And you can make 5 subs in the Carabao Cup. And from what we hear today, you're going to be able to make 5 subs everywhere from the beginning of the next season, I think.
Yeah, well, that's been voted in by all the Premier League clubs now. You know, it needs to be voted. I think it's 14 of the.
Here's De Bruyne moving towards the edge of the area, left-footed shot, takes a deflection down to his right. Areola makes a save, spoons it round the post and out for a corner. Well, De Bruyne taking matters into his own hands, started to meander towards the edge of the box, then decided to unleash a shot. It was a bit of a daisy cutter actually from De Bruyne, went along the floor through a crowd of bodies, took a little deflection. That makes it an even better save from Areola. Good save by Areola. It did take a deflection, and I think he had to change the direction in which he was anticipating the ball to go in, and it's a tidy save to give a corner to Manchester City. 0-0. And it's a short corner taken to De Bruyne, then Zinchenko, then swapped in by De Bruyne, and then headed by Stones. Great save by Areola. Brilliant reflex save by Areola. Stones with the header, leaping highest, getting on the end of De Bruyne's ball, and the French goalkeeper had to be at full stretch. He's kept clean sheets in both his West Ham games this season, and he wants to keep another one. Yeah, warning signs though for West Ham. That's 3 shots
on target in the last 2-3 minutes. The first one by Sterling, quite weak from the angle. The second one, a decent shot from Kevin De Bruyne, which was deflected. And then straight after, a short corner, great ball into the box this time by Kevin De Bruyne. Good contact by John Stones, and it's a tidy save once again by Areola.
Lanzini nods the ball away from Gundogan, just right of the centre circle, moves out towards the right wing position, and it finds its way to Johnson. Johnson teasing with Zinchenko, producing a high cross, a loopy one towards the far post, but Masuaku's going to get there. On the left-hand angle of the penalty area now, Crespo takes over. Lovely little touch into Vlasic. Space on the edge of the box for Souček, who's arriving, and he's missed the target. Well, he leant back, opened his body, and it just sort of bananaed out towards the right-hand side, veering away from the goal rather than to it. But that was a golden chance. Vlasic involved, teeing up Souček. He should have scored.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant move there by West Ham. Amazing feat, I've got to say, by Cresswell to slip the ball into Masuaku. He pulls the ball back onto the right foot of Souček. He opens his body, and it looks like it's the perfect pullback. He just got to hit that far corner, and he opens his ankle up far too much, and the ball goes harmlessly wide. But that's a massive chance, and listen to this, home fans of West Ham.
60 gone. And 3 changes about to come from West Ham United, including Ben Rama and Bowen, who are about to come on, and Pablo Fornals. Off to the Bet365 in just a second. At Manchester City have the ball on the near side. Let's go there now. Simon Humphries.
It's Stoke City 1, Brentford 2. Romain Sawyers against his former club. A corner on the left-hand side. It fell to the edge of the area, and a lovely, sweetly struck half volley from Sawyers, giving Brentford keeper no chance. 58 gone here. Stoke 1, Brentford 2.
And Simon said that it might be over already. He was getting too premature. He was so downbeat about Stoke's chances. You never know. They could come back. Here is Zinchenko. 0-0 here. On to Sterling, and then back to Kevin De Bruyne. Back to Kevin De Bruyne again, who's 10 yards short of the 18-yard box. Down the left it goes to Sterling, who's in between the midfielder Vlasic and Ben Johnson, but Johnson covers the ground quickly, shuts down the angle, the cross comes in, and it's blocked and out for another corner to Manchester City. 0-0.
Yeah, eye of the needle pass again from Kevin De Bruyne. It didn't look like that pass was on. I couldn't see the passing lane, obviously he can see more than me. Ball into Sterling, he gets it onto his left foot, just delays a little bit and gives the defender a chance to get across, and he blocks it for a corner.
Zinchenko to De Bruyne again from the corner, and then back to the edge of the area. Mahrez with a shot, and it bobbled up in front of him. He was stretching as he hit it, and that's why it was an easy catch down to the right for Areola. Goal at deep down, Mark Wilson.
It is Preston 0, Liverpool 1. The deadlock broken by the visitors. Ball down the right-hand side to the byline, pulled it back, and there was Minamino, hero against Norwich in the last round. He took the ball in from close range. Preston appealing for offside, not given. Preston 0, Liverpool 1.
Burnley 0, Tottenham 0 on TalkSport 2 with Jim Proudfoot and Mickey Gray right now. Download our app, you can switch between the two. Here at Manchester City against West Ham. West Ham are making 3 changes. And off comes Yarmolenko, and on goes Jared Bowen. Ben Rama coming on for Nikola Vlasic. And the final change is Pablo Fornals, who comes on for the final 29 minutes of this game, 28.5 minutes of this game. And he is going to replace Arthur Masuaku, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Arthur Masuaku's coming off on the near side. So Fornals, Bowen and Ben Rama on. And I think that would suggest that David Moyes fancies it.
He's going for it, 100%. I mean, these 3 players have been outstanding for West Ham. The success that they've achieved over the last, 18 months has been down to these players. Even though Ben Rama last season didn't score an awful lot of goals, he was instrumental, and I think he's improved again this season. This is the A side now. This is the side that David Moyes wants to go out and take it to Manchester City and try and get through to the next round of this cup competition.
B+ I'm going to go with, because there's no Rice and Antonio yet.
Yeah.
Bowen, only goals in his last 20 appearances have come against Brentford and Genk. Saïd Ben Rama, well, he's got 3 goals this season. It took a little while to warm into the West Ham shirt, but he seems to form a neat little partnership with Antonio now.
Yeah, and Fornals, you know, he's improved so much from when he first arrived a few years back. I actually thought if he doesn't knuckle down and really get going with his fitness and his mobility and his physicality, he'll never be able to touch the sides on the Premier League and affect games. Fair play to him. He's done that. His coaches have inspired him to do that. He's got down to the hard work, and he's a very useful player now for West Ham.
Well, it's 4-2-3-1, isn't it now, with the two holders, Souček and Noble. On the left-hand side, Ben Rama. Right-hand side, Fornals. Lanzini playing in behind Bowen, who's up top. And here is Lanzini on the halfway line, guiding it back to Ben Rama. Then Cresswell sends it long. Jared Bowen will chase. £25 million signing from Hull not so long ago. Proper David Moyes type signing. Here's Lanzini scrapping with Mahrez, and they have scrapped West Ham United in this game. 0-0, 64 minutes gone. Noble back to Diop, and then all the way back to the goalkeeper. You're listening to Talk Sport. Leicester still lead Brighton. Preston 1-0 down to Liverpool. Brentford just in front against Stoke. And anything changes, you'll hear about it here first in the Carabao Cup.
I think that just shows you what the Premier League's about. You know, you've got Mahrez, a player that you would say is a luxury player, against Ben Rama. Both of them scrapping to win possession there.
Ben Rama out to the left, picked up by Fornals. Back to Ben Rama again. Cancelo is down, holding his head inside the West Ham half. West Ham continue to attack. Ben Rama into Lanzini, back to the left, and Cresswell. Low cross into the box, steered behind and away for a corner.
Game on.
Now I think the West Ham felt that Cancelo slipped, and then, because he was trying to get the game stopped, held his head. That's the accusation, I think, from David Moyes. Potentially, why John Moss didn't stop the game.
Yeah, that's why David Moyes is having a little chat there with the fourth official. And if that is the case, listen, we don't know the facts yet, but if that is the case, he looks like he's a little bit dazed, and he might have taken a knock to his head. But listen, let's not take anything away from that attacking play from West Ham in the final third. That was superb disguise from Ben Rama, twisting and turning. Nathan Ake did not know what to do with him, and then a sharp little bit of 1 and 2 touch passing, and the cross was blocked. But excellent play again, once again, from West Ham.
Well, he's back on his feet and he hasn't left the pitch, so it can't be that bad. And unless there is a serious problem, he is back in action inside the 18-yard box. João Cancelo to defend this corner kick, which West Ham are going to take on this left-hand side. Another dangerous set piece.
You'd stick it on his head, wouldn't you? Stick it straight on him, see if he fancies it.
Cresswell to take it, left-footed, arcing it into that zone, punched away by Stefan, though. Comes out towards the edge of the box. Fornals will recycle it, but there was a problem anyway. Did the ball go out and come back in again? I think it might have done. And it's going to be a
good spot.
Goal kick away to our left-hand side. You're listening to Talk Sport, and we played 65 minutes here, live on Talk Sport and across the United States of America on Sirius XMFC. And Manchester City, who are the reigning champions of this competition, having won it in each of the last 4 years, found themselves in a spot of bother or two against West Ham United, who are looking to complete a trio of victories here in 8 days, having already dispatched Genk and Spurs, and now eyeing up Manchester City. They've made 3 rather aggressive changes to try and influence proceedings here at the London Stadium. And Trevor Sinclair, you couldn't really call it at the moment, could you?
You couldn't. I think if he had to side with one team at the moment that I would expect to at least score the opening goal, I'd definitely go with the home side, because the press now, it looks a little bit more aggressive and committed. They're putting more pressure on Manchester City, whereas they were sitting a lot deeper. Now they're saying, right, we fancy it, going head to head and seeing if we can win the ball high up. So you would say the chances that they've created and the confidence that they've grown into this game, I would say West Ham look more likely to score.
Fernandinho in the centre circle for Ake, and then sent forward towards Gundogan as Tottenham take the lead over on TalkSport 2 thanks to Lucas Moura's goal. It's Burnley 0, Tottenham 1. A Lucas Moura header has put Nuno Espirito Santo's team in front over on TalkSport 2. Fernandinho forward, taken down by Sterling, and across comes Johnson and manages to get it clear. He is out of sorts, Raheem Sterling. Ball cleared away by Johnson out towards the far side. It's away for a throw.
I'm looking at Pep every time the ball goes into Raheem, because it's just not happening, whether it's confidence, whether it's just a misunderstanding every time he gets it with his teammates. But his body language is not great. He's trying. It's not like he's down tools. He is trying, but nothing's coming off for him. And I'm just watching Pep and seeing how tempted he is to bring him up and bring one of either Foden or Grealish.
Palmer slaloms away from 2 challenges, feeds Sterling into the box, gets onto his right foot, back to Palmer. He's leant back and it's over the top of the crossbar by a mile from Palmer. Yeah. Great opportunity. He scored a brilliant goal against Club Brugge the other week. That was an opportunity to get on the score sheet again for Manchester City, and he started it with a body swerve away from 2 players, fed Sterling, got it back. Should have been a goal. Yeah, should have at least been on target.
Yeah, nice way to pass, I have to say that. Good little bit of it, early play from him, jinking him, driving past a couple of players. Good way to pass, so he could play it first time with his left foot from Raheem Sterling, and he just leans back, as you said. Doesn't get a good purchase on the ball, and it goes high over the bar.
Scored in the last round against Wickham as well, did Cole Palmer. Raheem Sterling hasn't scored for 15 away games for Manchester City. It's his 250th start for them tonight.
Milestone.
2 goals in 28 games in all competitions for Manchester City.
Tells a story, doesn't it? He's not confident playing for Manchester City at the moment, whether it's the shape, whether it's the interaction, the chemistry with some of the other players, but it's just not happening, and that's confidence with players. He doesn't turn into a bad player. He will get his form back, but at the moment you just can't see where it's going to come from.
Liverpool lead through Takumi Minamino's goal away at Preston. Here is Fornals into the box looking for Bowen, tries to get it back to him, comes on the edge of the area, and City strike over the top of the crossbar. Never looked set, never looked confident, may have taken a deflection, actually have gone out for a corner. Lanzini can hit them from range, just ask Hugo Lloris. But that wasn't one of his better efforts.
Well, I think it was going on target, if I'm being honest with you. It takes a big deflection off, it looks like Zinchenko, or else I think that's hitting the target. But again, you know, talking about playing in the future, as the ball was laid back inside on the halfway line, the movement was already in behind. It's a pattern of play that they've worked on so often, and certainly down the training ground. And these little shapes now, and these patterns are starting to come together for West Ham. Now they've got their A-team on, at least in the forward areas, apart from Antonio.
20 minutes to go. Corner to be taken over on the far side. And Aaron Cresswell has placed the ball down. John Moss is just sorting out a bit of a fracas inside the 18-yard box. Thomas Souček and Dawson were involved.
Dawson's definitely going to be involved in that.
Listen, there's no doubt those two are going to be right up there. Whenever there's a little bit of afters to be had, they'll be straight in.
A little bit of blocking going on here. John Moss is going to be all over it. Hopefully they don't give a foul away, because that'll be a waste.
Corner kick to be taken by Aaron Cresswell over on the far side. And there are 3 on the penalty spot for West Ham, 1 right on the post. It's aimed towards the back post, and Dawson's trying to get there, goes down under pressure. He's claiming he was knocked off the ball. He's holding his head, and well, they're just going to give a goal kick here.
Yeah, I didn't see any contact myself, and actually where he was holding his head, it seemed that, oh no, he took a flailing arm, the flailing right arm of Cancelo just caught him. I don't think it's anything too bad, and it didn't look like it was like he slung his arm back, but he did get caught, and he obviously felt that initial contact and hit the ground. But it was a poor delivery, I have to say. That's the last 2 by Cresswell that have been, one overhit, the last one we just seen, and then the one previous to that, he kicked it out of play, and it's just letting Manchester City off the hook there with a tool that's been so useful for West Ham this season. He's got to make sure he takes care and keeps his standards high with them set pieces.
Foden onto the pitch. He's replaced Riyad Mahrez, a substitution for Manchester City, as the Pep Guardiola tries to spark his team into life going into the final 18 minutes. If it stays like this, live on TalkSport, you will get penalties. Remember, you can talk to the boys on the sports bar straight after the game as well if you've got a view on what you've seen tonight. That's from 10 o'clock this evening. Here is Fernandinho, wide to Zinchenko, on the attack with Phil Foden now, taking the ball in towards the edge of the area. Foden gone out to the left, Sterling's gone out to the right as a result of the substitution. Fernandinho nudges it back to Cancelo down the right channel. A little collision, but Sterling is away from Cresswell into the box, dancing past challenges. Diop gets it clear, and then Ben Rama will put it out of play, and it's away for a throw-in. But there will also be a moment in which Aaron Cresswell can recover his faculties.
Yeah, I think you just see that Foden's came on, he's gone into the left-hand side, and Raheem switched to the right. I think that's good management from Pep, because it's not quite happening against Ben Johnson on the left. He's brought him over to the right rather than bring him off and really ruin his confidence and give the media probably a lot to get into. I think he's done the right thing. Put him on the right-hand side and see if you can get him into the game that way. I just think there was a little collision there, reverse movement from Raheem Sterling. He came to feet, went to spin in, fell into Cresswell, and that's where Cresswell felt that little bit of contact, and that's why he went down.
Give the media a lot to get into.
Well, his performance has not been great.
You've
but
been
I think
spending too much time with Simon Jordan.
Behave. I think if he brings him off, he's going to get you 2s and 3s out of 10, and he's not been useful at all. I think if you give him that opportunity to play on the other side and bring Foden on, I think maybe he could still have a part to play in this game.
Simon and Jim back tomorrow from 10 o'clock in the morning, or you can listen back on our app to Simon and Jim talking this morning about David Moyes, actually, and Trevor Sinclair was involved in that as well. Ake just left of the centre circle, moves up towards the halfway line, sends it forward into Gundogan, square into Cole Palmer, stopped by Diop, and West Ham have got it back again. Up to the halfway line, Ben Rama didn't really have anywhere to go, so he's having to take on 2 or 3 blue jerseys, gets towards halfway again after coming towards this near touchline, and gives it to Cresswell, who is recovered and has seen the run of Fornals, which was made in behind the City defence, but didn't quite have the ability at that moment in time to curl the ball into his path. When they do switch the play to the far side, it's too heavy, goes out of play, and it's back with Manchester City.
Great ability there, again on display by Ben Rama. He had 2 or 3 Manchester City players around him. He had the strength to hold players off, the skill, the guile, the knowledge, and I think that was much appreciated and quite usual of what this West Ham fan base see from the player, because he's very, very talented in my opinion.
Cancelo over halfway, dances forward, comes in past Souček, sliding tackle from Noble, and they win the ball back inside their own half. West Ham give it to Ben Rama, forward towards Fornals. Lanzini skips away from one challenge but runs into Ake. Gundogan takes over, moves through the middle of the West Ham half. Out wide on the left is Foden, jinks in right-footed, takes a deflection. Gundogan is there, couldn't gather it and send it past Areola, whose reactions were quick enough to scoop it out to the near touchline and out for a throw.
Yeah, very fortunate. It was so close to him, that ball. Areola, he landed with Gundogan, and he just managed to get his foot in the way and kick it out of the way. Gundogan was in on goal, and surely he was going to score.
Opening up now, Bowen runs offside before the ball is dripped over the top by Fornals. The flag goes up very quickly, and on comes Gabriel Jesus to replace Cole Palmer for the final 15 minutes of the game. West Ham 0, Manchester City 0. Remember, if it stays like this, it is penalties, as there were at Queen's Park Rangers Sunderland last night and Chelsea Southampton. And I was at that game, and the standard of penalties wasn't great at that match either.
Yeah, but the finishing penalty was superb. Really good nerve shown by Reece James, a player who just seems to be getting better and better and better.
Well, if you take 10, some of them are going to be good.
I was looking at Reece James, and his eye lines are so dark on his eyes. I couldn't believe it. Look at his eyeliner next time.
Are you saying he's actually got
No,
eyeliner
it's
on?
just his eyes are really prominent. I was shocked when I seen him.
Nothing wrong with a bit of guyliner, by the way.
Steady.
As an exponent of the art. Listen, sometimes you have to take all the help you can get. Here is Gundogan down the left-hand side, onto Jesus, into the penalty area. Jinks past one challenge, sets up Gundogan, who flicks it on instead of shooting, runs into a claret and blue wall, and it's sent towards the halfway line. West Ham can't get away with possession. Sterling runs over the foot of Souček. Trevor Sinclair thought that might be a foul.
That was a bit naughty, that. Yeah, he was wrong side there, Souček. He knew he couldn't get anywhere near Raheem, and he stuck a leg out. But Manchester City player play, and Raheem got straight back on his feet, and Manchester City carried on without taking the foul.
Phil Foden curls the ball out towards the far side, then it's on to Jesus. Jesus back centrally to Zinchenko. Now De Bruyne, little body swerve away from Noble into the left channel, and runs out of room. The ball just ricochets out of play and away for a goal kick to our right-hand side. TalkSport on a Wednesday evening. And West Ham, who opened the season with back-to-back 4-goal wins, don't score a lot of goals. Since then, there's been a lot of ones and a few twos, but I think they're going to make a more defensive substitution than offensive substitution with the arrival of Vlad Soufal, who I don't know how he got here today, but sometimes he does get the bus.
Don't you just love him?
Goal at the King Power. TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
It's Leicester 2, Brighton 2. It is the substitute who has levelled things up. Enoch Mwepu, the Zambian, who's headed them in back level in this game. Across from the left-hand side from another of the substitutes, Cucurella, who's just come on down that left-hand flank, whipped it into the middle, and it was too easy, really. Just simple for Mwepu to launch his header past the goalkeeper and past Soyuncu, who was on the line. We could be heading for penalties here. 20 minutes to go. Leicester 2, Brighton 2.
Gundogan on the edge of the box, tries to float it into the area, and it's all the way through to Areola. Yes, it's 0-0 here as well, so we could be heading for penalties here at Leicester-Brighton, where it's 2-2. We could be still, you never know, anything can happen at Burnley-Tottenham. It's only 1-0 to Tottenham over on TalkSport 2 with 10 minutes to go. It's Preston 0, Liverpool 1 as well at Deepdale tonight, and Brentford leads Stoke by 2-1. All the games really in the balance this evening in the Carabao Cup. Edge of your seat stuff, that's good, that's what we want in midweek. And if you're lending us your ears for the first time because this game isn't available anywhere else tonight, well, we're delighted to have you. Adrian Durham is hosting Around the Grounds every Tuesday and Wednesday night, sometimes with commentary, sometimes he replicates that brilliant show that we have on a Saturday, Game Day Live, where we buzz around the grounds. He's doing it this season, starting on TalkSport 2 at 6 o'clock every night, then on TalkSport from 7 o'clock. Make sure you join us. Ball down the left, looking for the run of Bowen into the deep half of part of the Manchester City half, and Stefan comes right to the perimeter of his penalty box to grab the ball in front of Jared Bowen.
Yeah, took a lot of pressure off his defence there, Stefan, by using the whole of his 18-yard box and picking that ball
De
up.
Bruyne sliding forward, then pushes the ball into the path of Gundogan, but before it can reach him, it's nudged over the top by Johnson, and it's out and away for another corner.
Defended great, hasn't he, the young man, the young right back for West Ham. You know, he always seems to get there in the nick of time. Sign of a great defender, and he's used the ball well in possession as well, where at times I thought, I was at the game at the Etihad a couple of seasons ago where it was all a bit too much for him. He couldn't keep the ball. It was like a hot potato. But tonight he's been composed and defended as well as we've seen him do before.
West Ham Young Player of the Year from last season, Ben Johnson, who's done very well tonight. Corner to be taken on the far side, aimed in towards Ake. Goalkeeper Kane didn't really get anywhere near it. They smuggle it away, West Ham, and they get to the halfway line. It's 4-on-3 momentarily. Now it's 4-on-4. The ball breaks towards the right. City getting numbers back. Fornals galloping forward down the right touchline, and then has to come back to Noble. Noble then patrols into midfield and then on to Lanzini, and West Ham patiently just make sure they keep hold of possession. 10 minutes to go, 0-0 the score. West Ham come down the left with Benrahma. Benrahma looks to try and take on Cancelo, good defending by him, and then up to Sterling. Sterling and Cresswell end up in a bit of a tangle of limbs. The ball breaks for Cancelo, and he slides it through the centre circle where Gundogan takes it on. He's got Foden to his left and to his right. De Bruyne, he plays it to Foden, sends him a little bit too wide really, and he goes out towards the corner flag, then has to turn back in field. Jesus a little over, returns it back to from Zinchenko. Jesus goes down into the left channel, looks to take on Johnson, has got support from Foden, but goes back to Zinchenko instead. And again, it's just a little bit indecisive, not ruthless enough from Manchester City. That's why they haven't prized open West Ham United in this game.
Good defending, I think that's what I'll put it down to, because they're asking the questions.
Oh, it's gone all the way through past Cresswell towards Cancelo. He didn't anticipate it, skipped past him.
Well left.
Fernandinho sending the ball down the right channel, and it missed Cresswell, and Cancelo saw it fly past him.
Yeah, it was a great ball. I think you would have to say Cancelo's unlucky, because he's never going to anticipate Cresswell missing the ball completely there with his right foot as he has a little swing at it, but he does, and in the end it turns out really well for West Ham, and he gets away with it, and the ball harmlessly goes out for a goal kick.
Vlad Soufal is on, and he's on fireworks in his bathroom before the Why Always Me game, wasn't he?
Crazy boy.
Here is Gundogan, midway inside West Ham half. Back to Fernandinho, clipped forward with 5 minutes remaining, and Soufal has to watch it. Didn't touch it. Oh, he did touch it according to the referee. And Dawson's complaining and saying that he didn't. Soufal has said the same thing. Sterling said that it was definitely a corner the minute the ball crossed the line. He was coming in from the blind side. They've taken the corner short and quick, and it's into Gundogan from Foden, back to the edge of the area. Zinchenko tries to tee it up. His cross is headed away by Issa Diop. Comes back down the right from Fernandinho into Jesus. Fernandinho's made a good run, bursts into the box, little touch, away by Souček, but coming back Manchester City again with Cancelo, who's motoring towards the edge of the area. Out wide it goes, constant pressure now from Manchester City as they look to try and continue this terrific run in the Carabao Cup. They haven't been eliminated for 5 years. Here is Cancelo, down the right. Jinking on the outside, cross is blocked by Benrahma. It's out for another corner, Trevor.
Yeah, again, defence is on top, probing down one side, switching the ball, recycling it and probing down the other side, and both defences have stood firm and been absolutely fantastic. I've got a funny feeling someone's going to make a name for themselves and score in these next 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, the ball is on this near touchline, and Foden's just had to retrieve it after it was kicked away, because he's taking the corner in front of the City fans away to our right. 6 blue shirts to aim at, in at the near post, away by Souček. Good header away by him. Comes back out as far as Zinchenko. He nudges it with his head out to the far side, and now Jack Grealish has hold of it. He cuts in, right-footed, sends it back to Zinchenko. His cross is a deep one. Fernandinho's at the far post. Stones is up there as well. It's a loopy header, which is easily grabbed by Areola. Smothered by the West Ham goalkeeper, and they will clear. 3 minutes to go before penalties.
Yeah, I think it's almost one of them games where I'm not sure whether both teams are now thinking, right, we're going to accept it's going to penalties and see what happens.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne has scored 6 of his 8 penalties that he's taken, so he's a regular penalty taker. You would have expected him to have taken one. Maybe he's got a problem. Here is Fornals out to the wide right position, deep cross to the far post. Fornals is still chasing that from Jared Bowen. Cresswell gets it. Now it's on to Benrahma. Benrahma whips it back in. It's not a great delivery. It's headed away, but only as far as Noble. He's encouraged to shoot. He was never going to do that. His body position completely changed to play a square ball. Johnson's delivery is deep towards the far post, and it's met by Fornals. He tees it up. It comes to Souček over the top of the crossbar again. 2 great chances he's missed tonight. Thomas Souček to eliminate Manchester City. This time again, just leaning back as the ball was rolled towards him on the edge of the area. He opened his body up. Fernandinho was in close attendance, but he'll think he should have hit the target, Trevor.
Yeah, very similar to the chance he had before where he skied it, but that was first time shot before. This time he got the ball, he first touch across his body, and again there was a bit of attention from a Manchester City defender, but he just leans back at the wrong time and lets Manchester City off the hook. That could quite easily have ended up in the back of the net, or certainly should have hit the target.
0-0 with 90 seconds remaining, live on Talk Sport. And here comes Manchester City, who have made attacking changes. After making 9 alterations from the weekend, they brought Foden, Grealish, Jesus all onto the field of play. Here is Foden, on to Grealish again. West Ham have made attacking changes as well. Foden trying to get past Souček. Jesus takes over. Across comes Benrahma. Good work by him. And then away by Cresswell. Thunders it out for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Good defending all night from this West Ham United team, who have kept clean sheets recently against Genk and against Tottenham Hotspur. They want a 3rd on their record. Here is Zinchenko down the left. Sterling's made a great run. Areola's read that, careered off his line, come running towards the perimeter of his 6-yard box, grabbed it and pulled it into his chest, and he will clear.
It's brilliant goalkeeping, because you have to say that's a pattern that we've seen repeated many times by Manchester City. Cancelo gets it on his left foot, plays that ball over the top of the defence, and Areola's starting position and the way that he was able to go across and just stop that danger was superb.
Zinchenko's just nodded the ball back to his goalkeeper under pressure. from Fornals. Fornals didn't quite, probably would have got the loose ball. Here's Grealish at the other end for Manchester City, looking for a winner, hunting a goal. Sits it up for Fernandinho, who strikes right-footed, blocked by Diop, bounces into the penalty area, hooked away by Benrahma. Foden keeps it alive. Fernandinho has it again. Down the right it goes. Foden is being harassed by Souček. 3 minutes of added time. Foden with an effort, narrowly wide of the left-hand upright. Wow. And the goalkeeper went down to his left and then left it because he knew that it was trickling wide of the post. We're into the 91st minute of the game.
I'm not so sure Foden shot there was left by Areola. I think he wrong-footed him. It looked like he was going to bend it in the far corner with his left foot, and then at last minute he just swiveled his foot. Maybe. It's not far wide.
He certainly put his hand up as if to say, it's all right, I've got it, it was fine.
Yeah.
Don't panic, boys. Listen to the noise.
Wow.
It's a massive attendance. I haven't been given the figure, but I reckon it's a record for this competition tonight. The previous record was over 50,000, just about, for a game against Tottenham Hotspur. But this is going to be very close to 60.
Yeah, it's packed.
Ball is at a play over on the far side. Gundogan has it into Zinchenko, then Ake, edge of the area. We're into added time at the end of the 90, and the ball is back towards goalkeeper Zach Stefan for Manchester City. Through the middle of the pitch comes Fernandinho. We're heading to penalties on Talk Sport. The ball is with Gundogan though. The German international starts to meander forward. He's joined by Fernandinho, who's winding up a shot, but he's fouled by Fornals, who wins the ball, he says. The referee says it was illegal, and a free kick in a dangerous position has been given to Manchester City in the final few seconds of the game.
Yeah, I didn't see Fornals getting goal side, being able to make that challenge there. Yeah, I wouldn't say lazy, but he's got to be more patient. He can't try and win it when he's wrong side, especially against an experienced player like Fernandinho. It looked a little bit closer than it is, so I think the ref's done quite well by pulling it back to that distance. I don't think this is an area where Manchester City can go direct for goal. But Phil Foden is looking at it, and it's good for a left footer.
Yeah, okay. It's 7 yards outside the box, and it's just, I think you're right about them moving it back a little bit, but I also think it's gone in a little bit as well, actually, and that might help Phil Foden, who has his hands on his hips. Gundogan is there too. There is a three-man wall and a draft excluder in Benrahma. It's just right of centre, 7 yards outside the box. It's Gundogan who hits it straight into the wall. Dreadful free kick. Trevor was right. Foden into Jesus, in towards Sterling with a header, plastered straight into the goalkeeper's arms. Terrible header, really.
Well, I think he was surprised that it missed the defender there, Raheem Sterling. He's rose, got there first, got good contact on it. Unfortunately for him, it's landed straight down the throat of Areola, who makes an easy save.
Well, either side of the goalkeeper, and that's a winner. And it's the last chance of the game. There's the full-time whistle. Penalties will decide whether or not the holders continue in this competition or they're knocked out for the first time in 5 years. West Ham 0, Manchester City 0.
Stay with us on TalkSport. We'll bring you those penalties live from the London Stadium. 0-0, but I thought it was a terrific game and was there for the taking, but nobody took it, so it goes to penalties. So as it stands elsewhere, Burnley 0, Spurs 1, live on TalkSport 2, Leicester 2, Brighton 2, still playing. That'll go to penalties as well. You'll be able to hear those penalties on TalkSport 2, barring a change at Turf Moor. And it's finished at Deepdale as well. How did it finish? Mark Wilson.
It finished Preston 0, Liverpool 2. 2 second-half goals from Minamino and Origi wrapped things up. Preston left to roof, chances missed in the first half, and plenty of them as well. Brad Potts, I doubt he'll sleep for a week after one miss when he blazed over unmarked from 8 yards out. Minamino broke the deadlock. Morton's through ball put the fullback Williams to the byline. They were appealing for offside, Preston. He pulled it back, and there was Minamino Minamino to tuck the ball in from 6 yards out. And then late on, Simicast cross from the left-hand side, went over the keeper, it landed on the crossbar, bounced in the 6-yard box, ball fell to Divock Origi 6 yards out, and he's back heel volleyed it over the keeper and into the back of the net. He made it look so easy. Preston were applauded off by a full house, and rightly so. They gave it everything, but their wait for a quarter-final League Cup appearance goes on. For Liverpool, 8 times winners, they're through to the quarter-finals. Preston 0, Liverpool 2.
It was an outrageous finish from Divock Origi, truly outrageous. Liverpool are through, Spurs are through. They've beaten Burnley 1-0 on TalkSport 2. Closing stages at Stoke. Simon Humphries.
Yeah, we've got a minute of 5 added on here left to play, Adrian. Stoke City 1, Brentford 2. First half goals from Sergi Canos and Ivan Toney look to have won the game for Brentford. Stoke were woeful in the first half. It was certainly going to be a half-time rocket from manager Michael O'Neill, and it worked wonders, because on 57 minutes, Romain Sawyers against his former club with a sweet half volley from just outside the penalty area. Corner fell to him right on the edge, and he struck home from outside the box, giving Fernandes no chance to give Stoke a glimmer of hope. Seamer's headed wide on as a sub. Ivan Toney's twice been denied by great saves from Bursic. The ball over on that far side at the moment, but it's Brentford who are going to win this tie now, surely. We've got 30 seconds left to play of this game, and Brentford heading towards the quarter-finals of the League Cup here in front of a crowd of 9,500, 1,444 travelling supporters here. Excellent support from the Brentford fans. The Premier League club heading for the quarter-finals. We've got 10 seconds of the 5 added on here as Stoke launch one final attempt. That's it, the final whistle's gone. Stoke City, 50 years since they won this competition. They're not going to win it this year. They've been beaten in the last 16. Brentford march on to the last 8. It's finished Stoke City 1, Brentford 2.
Well, they're still playing at the King Power. Leicester 2, Brighton 2. As it stands, of course, that's heading for penalties as well, and you'll hear those penalties live on TalkSport 2. Download the TalkSport app for free, swipe left for TalkSport 2, or stay with us here on TalkSport, because West Ham 0, Man City 0 is about to go to penalties. They're just sorting it all out. Keeper's about to head towards the goal, and we'll bring you those penalties live. Let me tell you what's happening in Scotland. They're still playing at Ibrox. Rangers 2, Aberdeen 2, a late James Tavernier penalty. The skipper scoring from the spot again. All square, still playing. Celtic are going to win 3-1 up at Hibs, and Ross County have won 5-0 at Dundee in a battle of the bottom 2. I'll bring you all the full times a little bit later on. Those penalties, Leicester Brighton still playing there, but the penalties, if it goes to pens, 2-2 at the moment. We'll be live on TalkSport 2 here at the London Stadium. It's been a brilliant atmosphere, been a fantastic game, and it's going to end in drama one way or the other. Finished West Ham 0, Man City 0. We've got penalties with Trevor Sinclair and Sam Matface.
The last time Mark Noble took a penalty at the Bobby Moore end of the ground, he missed it. He steps up, right-footed, scores this time 1-0 in the shootout. They go first in front of their supporters, and they leave 1-0 high into the roof of the net from their captain, who sets the tone. Trevor.
Yeah, great penalty. He looked confident the whole time, and you just mentioned there the last time he took a penalty at that end of the ground, he missed it. I'm delighted for him. He's been a fantastic servant for this football club, and what a great way to finish this game, which he's been superb. You know, showed real good experience and leadership, and it was a fantastically executed penalty.
Phil Foden for Manchester City will take their first spot kick against Alphonse Areola. He steps up left-footed, he misses the target, dragging it wide of the left-hand upright. Never really looked set actually when he was walking to the spot, and it's advantage West Ham United.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. You know, he looked confident, but you've got 60,000 fans at the London Stadium, big pressure. It's not like taking it at the training ground, and to not hit the target, he'll be disappointed with that. But you see the lads, the experienced players around him there at the halfway line, they'll look after him and he'll learn from it.
Jared Bowen to take this penalty kick for West Ham to go 2-0 up, and the goalkeeper gets something on it but not enough, and it is 2-0. Diving to his left, Stefan reached the ball but couldn't tip it round the post. Jared Bowen scores, it's 2-0.
Yeah, confident penalty, looked confident, quite a short run up, but it was quick, it was committed, it was a great contact, the keeper went the right way, but too much power in the shot.
João Cancelo, whose goals this season have come in the Champions League, more touches than any Premier League player so far this season, to get Manchester City on the scoreboard. He steps up right-footed and rifles it past the goalkeeper Alphonse Areola. Brilliant penalty low to the goalkeeper's right, but with real venom. 2-1.
Yeah, no nonsense. Usually you see players place the ball. For me, it looked like Cancelo there with his right foot, put his laces through it, low and hard, to his left-hand side. Keeper guessed right, but too much pace on the ball.
Craig Dawson for West Ham United scored against Genk last Thursday. Wily old character, 31 years of age, places the ball on the spot for West Ham, steps up right-footed, smashes it home, 3-1. Goalkeeper went the wrong way, Dawson with a fist pump. The West Ham supporters are starting to believe.
Yeah, it was a great penalty. I think sometimes when you're a big strapping centre-half, the keeper expects you to maybe put a little disguise and try and place it. No nonsense there from Dawson. Laces through the ball, high into the net to his left, keeper the wrong way. 3-1.
All the pressure on Gabriel Jesus. He's the next penalty taker. This is a crucial moment in the shootout. Manchester City 3-1 behind. He steps up, stutters, then rolls it elegantly into the corner with the most nonchalant penalty you'll see all night. Stuttered his run up, almost stopped, waited for the goalkeeper to go one way, he rolled it in the opposite side.
Wow. I mean, what confidence must you have to execute, even try and take a penalty like that? But I suppose that's the kind of players they breed in Brazil. Fantastically executed penalty, cool as you like.
Aaron Cresswell to put West Ham United into sudden death territory. Steps up, left-footed, smashes it in. It's 4-2, and that means that Jack Grealish has to score. Otherwise, Manchester City are out of the Carabao Cup.
Another great penalty. Cresswell, so good on his left-hand side. Struck it perfectly, sent the goalie the wrong way. Big moment for Jack Grealish. He's won the fans over already at Manchester City. I think this would just enforce what they already think of him. If he's got the bottle, we talk about personality, this is where you've got to show it.
The price tag was big. How big are your kahunas at this moment to keep Manchester City in the Carabao Cup? Jack Grealish steps up, right-footed, smashes it in.
Brilliant penalty.
High into the roof of the net from Jack Grealish. But the danger has not passed from Manchester City, because Said Benrahma, wearing 22 on his back, could be the first person to eliminate Manchester City from the Carabao Cup in half a decade. If this goes in, West Ham are through and Manchester City are out. Said Benrahma steps up, right-footed, scores! West Ham United take a Manchester double and knock United and now City out of the Carabao Cup. Pep Guardiola's team have not been knocked out of this competition for 1,827 days, but their reign is over. Someone else will win the Carabao Cup this season. It won't be Manchester City, the holders for the last 4 years. It might very well be West Ham United. They have dethroned the kings of the Carabao Cup in a penalty shootout. They've beaten them by 5-3 after a 0-0 draw in 90 minutes, and Said Benrahma is the hero at a packed London stadium.
What a penalty. How cool are you? Said Benrahma. He had to have nerves to take that penalty. All he has to do, hit the target, put it in the back of the net, and send West Ham through to the last 8 of the Carabao Cup. He's done that superbly well, and you listen to this atmosphere now. I had a sneaky feeling that West Ham have been on a great run of form and they could pull this off, and that is exactly what they've done. Brilliant from West Ham.
What a breathless, fantastic advert for Carabao Cup football. The bubbles have burst for Manchester City at the London Stadium. 0-0 in 90 minutes, 5-3 to West Ham on penalties.
Oh, David Moyes with a big smile on his face as he shakes the hand of Jarrod Bowen, who was one of those successful penalty takers. All 5 West Ham pens hitting the back of the nets. They knew how to take penalties, unlike some in this Carabao Cup midweek. What an atmosphere has been here tonight at the London Stadium. And these fans, Trevor Sinclair, who've turned out in numbers, absolutely jam-packed in here tonight. Most of them West Ham fans. They've been rewarded right at the end.
Oh, thoroughly entertaining game. You know, you might look at the scoreline and think, oh yeah, West Ham got all 11 bodies behind the ball, took the pressure from Manchester City and got over the line, got to 90 minutes and were relieved and won the penalty shootout. That's completely nothing like what the game was like. The pattern of the game was, yeah, West Ham did have to defend quite a lot of the game, but they were dangerous on the attack. They posed Manchester City a lot of different situations and troubles themselves. And I thought, you know what, both clubs put a strong line out and both players did well, weren't good enough to break down the opposite defences. It went to penalties. I'm just sad for Phil Foden. He's the one that missed the penalty and he'll feel that, but nothing lasts forever, and this is a great opportunity for West Ham now to go and win silverware under David Moyes.
In that shootout, Sam mentioned cojones, and even Mark Noble, the very first penalty he'd missed. And a crucial penalty for West Ham United. Steps up, scores it, no problem. Dawson absolutely buries his penalty, and Ben Rama. I thought when Ben Rama was walking to the spot, I thought he looked a bit sweaty and nervous.
You would be.
Well, you would, of course you would be. But wow, they've got some. They were well drilled, West Ham tonight, defensively. They had little moments going forward where Souček might have nicked it once or twice. In the end, they've stayed calm, they've stayed well drilled, got the job done.
They've done what it says on the tin. They're a reflection of David Moyes. He understands how to set teams up. They're professional, they're fit, they've got great team spirit, and then when it comes to the end of the game and they've got to have a little bit of composure and actually back themselves and fancy themselves to put the ball in the back of the net, is exactly what they did.
West Ham are through, the Holders are out, Liverpool are through, Brentford are through, so are Spurs. The penalty shootout's about to start at the King Power. Leicester-Brighton finished 2-2. Here's Jeff Peters.
And Leicester will take the first penalty here at the King Power Stadium. It is James Maddison for the Foxes, who came on as a second half substitute, and he's up against Jason Steele in the Brighton goal at the Kop end of the ground. Here is James Maddison for Leicester, sends the keeper the wrong way, and Leicester draw first blood with James Maddison. As Adrian mentioned, the game finished 2-2. Harvey Barnes and Ademola Lookman scoring for the home side. Twice Brighton coming back through Adam Webster and then Enoch Mwepu. Brighton to try and level things up. It is Pascal Gross, captain for the night for Brighton, who has made the walk from the centre circle, and he is up against the Leicester goalkeeper Danny Ward, who hasn't featured too much for the Foxes this season because of Schmeichel's form, but he has played in both League Cup ties. Here is Gross, and he takes it very calmly right-footed. He beats Danny Ward, and it is one apiece between Leicester and Brighton in this penalty shootout. A reminder that both these sides are in action at the weekend, and you can hear them on game day on TalkSport. Leicester against Arsenal here at 12:30. And then also on this channel on TalkSport, Brighton away at Liverpool. That is a 3 o'clock kickoff. Leicester's second penalty taker is Harvey Barnes, the man who gave Leicester the lead in the 6th minute. Seems a hell of a long time ago. Harvey Barnes for the Foxes. Again, the keeper goes the wrong way, and Leicester lead in the penalty shootout 2-1. 3 penalties, and they've all been scored. Next up to take a penalty for Brighton is Neil Mopai. He scored against Leicester from the spot in the Premier League fixture between the sides a few weeks ago. Controversy surrounded it, of course, the decision that was given for the handball from Vestergaard. Mopai was involved. He scored from 12 yards past Kasper Schmeichel. This time, it's Danny Ward he has to try and beat. Whistles and jeers from the home fans here. Here's Mopai, hits the bar. Leicester still have that 2-1 advantage, as Neil Mopai's spot kick is a bit too high and rattles the crossbar. So it is a